It is time to prepare to finish out this week very strong in the green. The stock market is currently setting up for a highly predictable, lucrative trading opportunity. I'm going to be explaining to you how we're preparing to trade an ES futures potential trade during the extended hours session, along with our SPY zero date options heading into tomorrow. Without further ado, we're going to get straight into the analysis. These past 2 days have been absolutely life changing for many options traders. We absolutely crushed it and have had several massive wins these past couple days. Just today, we bought SPY call options at the open, multiple strikes, multiple wins. We also bought NVIDIA call options at market open that went up over 300%. And then on Wednesday, GROAR absolutely crushed it with put options. I ended up buying call options at the market open, cut my trade in a couple minutes for a small loss. Then I proceeded to buy call options at our lower levels. For those of you who watched the earlier videos, you are well aware that 753 was that automation absolute best level to be buying calls. And we ended up buying calls there was exact lows for a 2 point spike. Also, 750 was a phenomenal level. So, losing remains a personal choice with this many massive several wins in a row. With that being said, I'm going to be going over our trades towards the end of this video. First things first, we're going to get straight into the updated price action analysis. We're going to get right into the money making information. So, what I want you guys to understand is this: the market is giving us the most predictable, lucrative trading opportunity I've seen all week. These 2 past days have been absolutely life changing. I would say that most people should have had a massive green day, if not on Wednesday, then today. For me, it was today. And one of the reasons why it was today, dude, I literally swing traded futures on the massive gap down and I made a 60-point move on ES futures, just holding it, for like 12 hours, whatever it was. We're going to be going over that. But you guys are all well aware, I've been telling you the best strategy within the market is to buy oversold dips. And in terms of my futures trading strategy, I haven't been day trading futures. I've just been swing trading futures. We identified that ES had a massive gap down. We ended up buying towards the exact lows. We ended up selling for a 60-point plus move, and then it ended up going up 80 points before dropping. With that being said, another futures trade is setting up. Going to be getting into that. But look, this is what I want you to understand. We're going to start off with the daily chart pattern. So this is the best confirmation, and it is placed at a very strong foundation. This is what I want you to understand. One of the best daily chart patterns, and this works on other time frames, but it does get more advanced in terms of the strategy to be in alignment with the overall pattern and the way it's placed and the way how the candles look. But in terms of this one, it looks absolutely spot on for a most likely outcome of another bullish trending day and then a small pullback into the close. So, this is what I want you to understand. What was our previous resistance? What was our previous breakout in retest levels? Right here, you can see the SPY had resistance at 755. You can also see SPY had resistance at 751. This was an overall resistance zone, right? The lows of these candles were the support zone, right? So once the SPY forms a floor above previous resistance, breaks out and retest, that's bullish, green, green, bullish confirmation. Well, you can see it's doing the same exact pattern. Your previous resistance was in between here and here. It had the strong breakout to 760. In terms of nice key whole round numbers, it's like, dude, 760 is a very realistic level where the SPY can obviously drop, especially if it topped out multiple days, and especially on Wednesday with an overall bearish confirmation. If you guys looked at the chart of in the pre-market, green, multiple red, red, green, red, red, green, red, lower highs, all red, right? It's not by accident when I bought these calls that open on Wednesday, I cut these calls within minutes for a very small L. And then if you guys went with the 753 level, you would have been at the exact lows for a massive 2 point plus spike to make back much more than you lost on calls if you bought at the open. And then GROAR ended up buying puts towards open, making a massive win. Losing is genuinely a personal choice. Even on massive bearish trend days, I did not get trapped on calls. I cut the L very quickly. And then I did end up buying, calls towards the exact lows. Ended up the day very, very green, but my massive green day was literally today, man. I'm gonna go over that. But look, this is what I want you to understand. We're at a very strong foundation for this history to repeat itself. In terms of the history that we are discussing, this is a resistance, this is a breakout, this is a green, red, green, bullish pattern placed above previous resistance, break, retest, right? And then the next day is bullish, right? So now we're gonna get very surgical and we're gonna dissect pattern placement, pattern shapes, right? So in terms of strategy, resistance here, breakout here, retest, retest. So the SPY has retested in between the previous resistance zone, right? SPY ended up closing at 757. The market had a gap down. Every single time the market has been gapping down in terms of the past, over a year now, especially these past 3, 6, 9, 10 weeks now, right? The best thing you could have done on a gap down was to buy ES futures and make over a 50 to a 100 point move and rinse and repeat that multiple times. I have not missed one trade on ES futures swing trading. Whenever SPY's gap down, I bought the dip. Sometimes I got at the lows, sometimes I didn't. We position ourselves to hold for massive percentage drawdowns, and then we add into winners, and we just never lose on the vast majority of these trades, especially on ES. I've only had one loss this year, and it's a very small loss compared to these 150 to 100 point plus moves that I'm making swing trading within just a matter of 12 hours, right? So obviously, the best strategy is to buy in oversold dips. So you have to know the levels to do that as a day trader. You also have to know the levels and asset classes to be trading as a swing trader, right? Because with a chart this good looking, it makes a lot of sense to swing trade on a big gap down. You guys just have to decide what asset class you want to do that on. If you go with futures, you can trade futures basically like a stock. It's just a lot more leverage, so you have to size in accordingly. So if you don't get at the bottom, you can hold through some drawdowns and SPY going a couple points against you, because it's likely going to recover and fill the gap within time. Sometimes maybe not as soon as you expect it, but in terms of all our futures trades, dude, they've all been timed perfectly. I've only had one loss this year on futures. So anyways, that has been the best swing trading strategy, is just to buy when SPY gaps down, but obviously like know how to do it. And that's what we do. We know how to do it. We don't just blindly buy into gap downs, but we're going to be getting into that here soon for all you futures traders. But look, this is what I want you to understand. We're going to get surgical, right? So resistance, resistance, breakout, retest, retest, retesting in the previous resistance zone, right? And we got a massive gap down. SPY literally just gapped down on Wednesday, and then ended up recovering, exploding back up, right, to literally recover at the speed of light. Look at this recovery in terms of this gap down. This was absolutely insane. It had this big gap down. We bought futures towards the lows and then a bullish recovery. It's like, dude, if somehow, some way, someone found a way to lose money on calls, well, you just made it all back more in today. It's like one of these days should have been a massive green day, not a red day, and especially not a big red day, for anyone trading. But you know, what I want you to understand is, guys, is very simple, man. Look, the short-term pattern indicates that with SPY gapping down, this is setting up for a futures trade where you just get in, you can scale into it, right? You can start light, scale into it, right? Hold the trade, massive gains, explode up to fill the gap at 757, right? Now, we're going to get back to this daily chart pattern. So this right here is our break and retest zone, right? Look at where the market closed. The market closed at the previous resistance, right? And then look where the market closed today, at previous lower resistance. So one thing you need to understand about SPY is when it's pushing lower like this, that's when it has its biggest spikes and its biggest bullish recoveries, right? Now we have a gap to fill at 757, and we also have a gap that is waiting to fill above at a slightly higher level. You're going to see right here, 759.45, right? So one thing we know about SPY is it's consistently pushing for new all-time highs. Whenever it gaps down, it quickly tends to recover and fill the gaps. It's been bullish every single week for quite some time, right? So another thing in terms of trading, it's about putting the odds in your favor. Every single week since end of March has been closing bullish. So if you're betting on a bearish close, you're basically saying that the market isn't going to close green and bullish like it's been doing since end of March. One way to create an edge of trading is to put the odds within your favor instead of trying to be the one guy who says, you know what, this time's going to be different. There's going to be a break of trend. The week's going to close bearish. Because if you just would have went with all of the bullish week theses, you would have been extremely green, and you could have had many situations where you could be wrong and still profitable, even if the market had a break of trend and be bearish. But if you're on the wrong side of the trade, it's like, dude, your win rate's going to be extremely low, and you're going to lose a ton of money just to be right. And if you're losing a ton of money to be right, you shouldn't be trading, because The number one thing to trading is to not lose money. If you guys want to create a good strategy and system, don't lose money. That's what I would tell you to do. You know, some people have systems where they're down unrealized, but they never sell for a loss and they never fucking lose. You know, you could buy ES, size accordingly. It's like, dude, every gap recovered. If someone's not profitable trading options, I would tell them, well, have you tried swing trading ES? When it gaps down, it recovers every single time. Have you tried it? Like it's working very, very well. You know, we can all size in accordingly, add to winners. We can all cut losses if it gets a little out of hand. But like, dude, there's just so many ways to make money, you know? Like, if you tried zero date options and not using a stop loss and you go far the money and the trades end up going deep in the money, even when they're down 90% of the, even when they're down 90% not timed right, they still go deep in the money. And when that's down, more strikes, more opportunities to buy calls. Like, guys, to be red in this market, you shouldn't be trading. It's the easiest market to be green in. Trump's in office. It's never been better. It's never been easier. That's one of the reasons why I'm so locked in and focused is because Trump's in office. It's a rare time, and the market's been extremely easy to trade. It's like there's no greater ROI I can do if I want to focus on growing my money and wealth than this. In terms of right now, there's just no other greater ROI with everything going on, and I'm focused on growing my account and money, so I'm just doing this nonstop. But look, this is what I want you guys to understand. We got a green, red, green place bullish here. Go back historically in this bullish market and study every single time SPY's had green, red, green. Look, green, red, green, and study the placement. Previous resistance reacts to support. Green, red, green, bullish breakout, right? Previous resistance, breakout, reacts to support, attempts, right? Green, red, green, right? Now, look at this. You see how it's slanted to the right side? Look, this time it's slanted up. Going up, green, red, green, slanted up, goes up, right? Now look, it's slanted to the downside. Some people might think that's bearish, but it's in a bullish placement. This is resistance, this is resistance, this is a break and retest zone. And again, put the odds in your favor. Look at the weekly chart. With this many bullish weeks in a row, I'm not going to sit here and say, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and say the most likely outcome is bearish because every single week lately has been closing bullish. And there's two gaps that are waiting to fill above towards all time highs. SPY just had a gap down and it recovered to fill that gap very, very quickly, right? So I like to put the odds within my favor, but I don't blindly do it. I actually confirm this instead of just saying, oh, well, it did this 9 out of 10 times. Let's make the trade. And like, no, we know what we're doing. Like, it's more advanced. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get surgical. We're going to see what SPY looked like when it did the green, red, green slanted, right? And another reason to be bullish is this. Look at how this daily candlestick looks right here. Look at the pin down, look at the pin up. Look at the pin down, look at the pin up. Next day it dips, bullish recovery, drops into the close, small little pullback, right? So if you study this daily candlestick, it's identical to this daily candlestick. SPY is at a more oversold break and retest level. SPY tends to have the biggest and hardest bounces when it hits its oversold levels, especially within the bull market. The worst strategy of the year was to buy puts at oversold levels, especially when you're at a break and retest zone. It's very oversold with a green, red, green bullish daily chart pattern with gaps waiting to fill above. And SPY literally just gapped down yesterday and quickly recovered to fill the gap. So it's like, dude, this is literally setting up for a slingshot move to just push higher. That's all this is doing. This pullback is just a gift for a slingshot to just attempt to push higher and then drop again. It's very simple, but we're gonna get very surgical into this. The information that I'm providing to you is going to make you a lot of money. So let's get into this. Look, every single time it does the green, red, green, the best thing you can do is buy an oversold dip. Green, red, green, drops, hits the previous day lows, recovers. Next day, very bullish, right? So again, the best thing you can do with green, red, green pattern is to buy an oversold dip. And I'm going to give you those levels here shortly, right? But look, green, red, green, sideways up. Next day's bullish, little drop into the close. Green, red, green, sideways down, placed at a bullish break and retest, bullish close. Green bullish daily candle identical to this green bullish daily candle, green bullish daily candlestick identical to this green bullish daily candlestick. Next day bullish, next day's bullish. Oversold dip was the best buy and lows, right? Green, red, green, bullish trend day. Now look, this is where it gets interesting. This is the same exact pattern that just formed. Do you see how there's resistance right here? SPY had a breakout, came back down to retest this previous resistance. But look at how the pattern looks. You see how it's slanted to the right side going down, placed at a break and retest, green, red, green. Look at the next day. Oversold dip, slightly below the closing price, and then a bullish recovery. This is why buying futures right now is extremely attractive, right? And I do encourage starting positions even now to be buying futures, but I'm going to give you the best level here shortly. But basically, with this pattern in alignment, along with that daily chart pattern, along with the weekly chart patterns closing consistently bullish, this is all signaling that the SPY is going to have a very bullish trend day. And the best thing you can do is to actually consider buying the falling knife and holding it to zero, right? That's literally the best move in a situation like this. Obviously, we do get those times where, like Wednesday, there was a little break of trend and the calls weren't working out. But it's like, dude, whether you cut the loss short or not, if you took it in the morning and there was no good confirmations in the pre-market, you guys have to understand these videos are posted the night before. If the pre-market says otherwise, you got to remember this is a price ladder. The market just doesn't do what the most likely outcome does. If a price reacts bearish, it goes down to the next level. If 758 reacts bearish, well, you guys are all well aware that 753, if you watch the previous videos, were the best level to buy calls. Meaning, if you can't be profitable with a 50% win rate, you know, you shouldn't be trading options because options give you the biggest percentage gains in the most systems to make money with the lowest win rate, right? Add to winners, hold winners, hold runners, you know, it's never been easier to make money within options. It's the easiest way to make money within the options. It's the only ethical way to really be day trading. You know, you can trade futures, but futures lacks the edge because it's just directional. With options, you could buy something out of the money, quickly sell it deep in the money, make massive percentage gains. There's a massive edge in buying something out of the money and selling the money. There's a massive edge in timing something perfectly. There's a massive edge in if you don't time something perfectly, there's a more unusual, better options trade at a cheaper, lower price to buy another strike and then both are green. And the first loss comes back to life. The second trade timed perfectly, massive win. It's like, dude, we're in losing trades. Like, take this for example. Giroir lately has been making the best morning trades, but they've been dropping 50 to 70% at first, meaning the timing was not accurate, but the trade was made very early in the morning and he was right about the trend. He's going extremely far out, so it's going to take time to go deep in the money, right? Even if the price goes in direction, it might not go up at first, right? So as that's happening, I'm making trades that are in alignment with the side of his trade and I'm scalping at the best levels possible. Um, and the trades are working out absolutely fantastic. But that's not my strategy, is like to look at his trade and then like make scalps out of it because the vast majority of the time the loser comes back to life and goes green. That's not my strategy in terms of what it is that I'm doing. A lot of the times, and I love when this happens, we're literally just in alignment. It's just the thing is, he likes to hold for these massive wins and experience big drawdowns. I have a system where I do that, but I'm more of like a laser as of now. I'm more of like a laser quick scalper. So like what we tend to be aligned with the trend more than we're not. But obviously if I'm getting in and out, I don't even have to be aligned with the trend, but typically we tend to be in alignment with the overall trend. So when that's happening, I've noticed that especially when I'm just scalping doing my thing and his trades in alignment with it too, it's like it's a great combo too where everything just works out, especially when we're both in that alignment where he's holding a trade whether he's up or whether he's down and he's right about the trend and then I'm scalping with the trend and we're both just in aligned, like whether we're looking at our trades or not. It's like when we're both just in alignment, the trades print like fucking crazy. It's like, dude, if someone's down 90% on a trade and you're getting in and out, you can make massive returns in short periods of times if you know the right trades to make. And sometimes the right trades to make are literally against the trend, but I don't like going against the trend. I like trading with the trend, right? When you trade with the trend, you can just hold losers. It comes back to life easily, but you can make scalps as you're holding a loser, or you can just make scalps with the trend and get in and out multiple times and run up like 2 to 4 quick wins at like 20 to 50%, and it adds up to massive gains, right? And one of the beauties of getting in and out quickly, if you're going for more of a timing scalping approach, like I tend to do, like you guys saw on Wednesday, I cut my loss very quickly on calls. Well, if the trade is intended to get in towards the lows, you know, if you get in at the lows, you could hold it, but not full size. But what I do is when I'm scalping, I size in bigger. and then I just cut it quick. Like if I'm gonna get in and out, I'm fine with taking a small L like I did on Wednesday, and then I made it all back on my next trades because it was just we had so many wins after the small loss, right? But obviously, if I'm scalping with big size and then I hold the loss, then that's a different story. That's a big loss if I'm sizing in big. But one of the cool things about scalping is you could just size big, get out quick if it goes against you, get back in, make it all back and more. But like the powerful thing with scalping is if you know how to time it right and bottom tick candles like I do, which means you buy at the exact lows of a 1 minute candle and then it flips right in your direction before that crazy pin move in your favor. Like you guys saw that I did today on 753 calls. One of the powerful things about that is if you time something perfectly, you get the best entry. If you get the best entry, you're more incentivized to hold the trade. It's just you have to understand when you're scalping, especially with bigger sizes, what is the trade meant to be? Is it meant to be held longer? And if it is, then what I do is I have I have a position size where I feel comfortable holding, and then I have another size where I feel comfortable just scalping. So when it's time to exit the scalp, I exit the scalp, and then I leave the rest to run, which is considered my leave the rest to run side for the bigger win. So like even when like, you know, in a situation when I'm scalping, if the trade just happens to work out so amazingly and it looks good to hold longer and stuff like that, I'll try to hold some size for periods of time. Um, but in a situation like that, I like to leave runners and stuff like that. And then if I see a trade that's meant to be hold and I just hold the loss to zero on those trades, I size in small. So this is all predetermined before I enter the trade. It's just the thing about timing a trade perfectly is it gives you're more incentivized to hold the trade, especially if you have big size, because big size perfect entry could mean a massive win, right? You just have to make sure that you don't go green to red, and you set profit stops and you trim into the spikes regardless, and you divide the position size of like one is meant to be scalped, one is meant to be held, meaning you sell X amount at a scalping point, and then you sell the rest in terms of like higher profit targets and runners and stuff like that. But even if you're holding trades that are down 80%, you could still size in big on those once they flip green and you add to winners. And you can also buy multiple strikes as those trades are down. If you know the levels to buy at and you truly believe that the trend is going to work within your favor, you can buy at major discounts on other strikes, or you can wait for more confirmations to come in as your trade is coming back to life, add to the original new strikes you bought, or get in on them for the first time because you're waiting for more of a confirmation. Some people have to decide if they're more comfortable with paying potentially at lower prices with lack of confirmation into a falling knife, or are they comfortable with paying higher prices with more of a confirmation as it begins to reverse? But the interesting thing about options is with the theta decay, um, you know, price could be trading higher, but if it took too long, the price on the contracts could be lower. And then if the big moves happens, that literally ends up being the best place. You got to be able to read the price action, read the market. There's nothing like options, man. Options will give you options, and one of the things that options will give you, especially in my experience, is unlimited green days. If you know how to trade options, I would say you shouldn't have more than 3 red days in 3 months if you truly know how to do it. Literally one red day a month, the absolute most. If you're good at it, should like 1, 2 red days a quarter, but it really shouldn't be happening. The only way I could really see it happening is if someone flipped green to red with poor risk management. Someone's up like 2K, they aim for 5, and then they flip to like minus 1K. It happens. It happens to people. Options give you options. Well, you could flip very quickly green to red on options if you keep on going, 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 risking the wrong amounts, especially trying to make, YOLOs at the end of the day and risking too much on the YOLO, right? You guys got to adjust to the price action. If you're trading SPX YOLOs, the percentage gains are going to be a lot bigger and the contracts are going to go to zero a lot quicker, meaning you got to size in a lot lighter on those because it's not the average trade where you hold it longer, and it's fast. In speed, the thing about trading is two things that could kill traders quickly is speed and over leveraged, over position size. So they just have to know the territory that they're entering. SPX Power Hour is a completely different territory. It's literally YOLOs. It's like there is no the downside about SPX is if you're down 90%, it's usually not coming back to life. If you buy a trade in the morning, it has the whole day to come back to life, and you have the whole day to be right about the trend. With SPX, you're basically trying to be right about a 5 minute trend, 10 minute trend, 15 minute trend, 30 minute trend. Like, not a lot of time left, right? Decay at the speed of light. So it's a different type of style. It can result into massive gains. But the downside is it goes straight to zero if you time it wrong. And wrong timing could be within seconds. That's the disadvantage to it, right? So the market's a very interesting place. I absolutely love it. But look, we got the green, red, green sideways, the bullish trend day, right? So I mean, in terms of this market, this is very bullish. So what makes me even more bullish is this pattern. This is the pattern that I'm seeing on the SPY. So let's take a look at this. This pattern right here. Up, down, retest lows, bullish, retest highs, bearish, bearish. Up, down, retesting lows, break and retest, bullish, bullish, retest highs, crash, right? So our number one focus is to buy these call options, right? It's the most likely outcome. And the best thing to do within this market has been to buy oversold dips. When there's a break of trend, there's a break of trend. We're never concerned about being wrong against the overall most likely outcome because we could just cut our loss quickly. If anything, if there is a break of trend, like that's another thing. Another benefit of like just nonstop trading with the trend. Eventually, there's going to be a break of trend, and when you clearly see, okay, this is a break of trend, you can literally just cut your loss quick instead of holding it to zero if it's a true break of trend. Obviously, there's ways to prevent it to even enter the loss. Congrats to those of you who did that on Wednesday. Me personally, I got in at the morning. 3 minutes it went against me. It broke my key level, and I said, dude, this shit was already looking bearish out the gate. Like all this red, green, red, lower highs, red, green, red, red, green, red, 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 red. Not bullish confirmations. Eyeball calls. Dude, my contracts went down 19 cents. I was out in 3 minutes. And then calls towards the lows at 753, they went up 100% plus, our next best level. It's like, I don't, we can't even be red on a day. I can't even be red on a day when SPY drops like fucking 6 points, which like on and closes bearish. I can't even be red on a day just buying calls. How the fuck am I going to be red? The market's going up every single day, and then out of the blue fucking moon, we have a red bearish day, which was predictable if you looked at the pre-market, and I'm still green buying calls. It's like, dude, some people, they know what it's like to be trapped, and they figured out how like they can't be trapped anymore. You know, one way to not be trapped is just to wait for other people to get trapped and then capitalize on that. See how they got trapped, see where the reversals are heading, see where the overall trend is. You know, one of the disadvantages to trading at market open is there's less price action, there's less traps. You know, one of the disadvantages to trading power hour is there's less time, there's less trend. But one thing in life in terms of disadvantages is with a lot of things, there tends to be advantages too. It's just people have to be able to see through that, right? Um, I'd like to think like, certain people have gifts, certain people have superpowers, right? But I think one of the things that comes with like gifts and superpowers are some potential like side effects or downsides or negatives, but like depending on how the way people perceive it or look at it, it's really not downsides or negatives. It's potentially leading them to the a certain direction of life. But I don't know. I like to think with a lot of things of like when something's really good, like there's something else that comes with it that's not all that good, but it could be positioned where like it with that being said, like it can position you into like a certain life of style of just things you like don't do or can't do, but like anyways, or don't want to do. But it could just and for certain things it could push someone into like a better lifestyle or just more disciplined to just get to the ROI. Um, but yeah, man, look, you guys, you need to understand the pros and cons of trading. But look, this is our zone. So if you want your best automation level to buy calls, it's right here, 750 to 751, right? So it's going to be right here. This is your best level for calls. Automatically buy calls here. With ES, you can just get in. So if you want to know the falling knife level, it's right here. This is your falling knife level. You just blindly get into that fucking shit if you want to. That's like the level where like you could just get in, especially on fucking ES, right? Now look, realistically, the market could potentially bottom right here. 753, this is a very, very strong level. When 753 reacts to support, the market quickly goes up to 758. Take a look. There was resistance at 753 right around here. And then once it breaks out, holds a floor, green, red, green, reacts to support, the market quickly goes up to 758 and it crashes, which is in alignment with this pattern right here, right? Up, down, middle finger, mountain, up, down, middle finger, mountain, bottoms towards the lows, bottom towards the lows, trend reversal, retest lows, resistance, breakout, retest, right? Spikes back up, buy the oversold dip right here. There was an oversold dip. If that's a real fucking candle, we'd have to see in a 1 minute chart. Thinkorswim be forming these glitches, making these 30-minute candles look like shit that's not even real sometimes. But even with the glitch, it tends to work. So like if there's a glitch in the fucking system, or if this shit just rapidly crashed in the pre-market, I would just automatically buy that dip at a break and retest level, resistance, breakout, glitch, buy the dip, right? But basically, it's saying that the low is either going to be right here at 753 or 751 to 750, right? So like you guys need to create a strategy where you can just get in on both and be green on both. So if you buy here and it drops, you need to hold that and you still need to be green because it should recover. And if it doesn't, well, you either set a max pain loss for a break of trend if it goes below 749, or you just position yourself where the contracts can go to zero, which is what we like to do, right? Unless I'm laser scalping in and out, certain trades I'll just get out right away because it's meant to be timed perfectly, or I'm sized in extremely big and it's just meant to be scalped. Sometimes my trades that are meant to be scalped, you know, I end up holding them sometimes, but I don't like holding the losses. In that situation, if I was holding a loss, I would definitely be scaling out into the loss. If I decide, what you guys need to understand is one thing, if you're aiming for perfect timing, look, if you're sized in big and you're aiming for perfect timing, you have to have a size where you're comfortable with holding for a short period of time and a long period of time. And then when the short term goes against you or goes with you, you cut it. And then the rest of the position, you decide if you actually want to hold that, right? Because as you're actually in the trade in the scalp, you're going to be more incentivized to either hold with it or stick with it once you're trading price and once you see candles develop, or more incentivized to just cut it, get out, make sense, likely going to go back down, give back gains, but set profit stops too, of course, right? But look, 753 could be the exact lows. Obviously, the best level is 750 to 751. Automated, just go the fuck in. But look, guys, even futures right now at 753 is a buy. I'm likely just going to get in on this now. It's already breaking, retesting, reacting bullish. This always bullish as fuck, right? Most likely outcome is we bottom here and we spike back up towards here. The only recommendation for puts at oversold levels this low, along with all the bullish patterns, SPY's gaps to fill above, SPY gap down is oversold. The bullish 30-minute pattern, the green red green pattern, the bullish weekly close. You know, I I would be, look, if I went red tomorrow buying calls and finally had a red day, I would be extremely happy. And the reason why I would actually be happy in that situation is because this is the most perfect setup for calls. It's been working endlessly. This is what has led to our success and made us fucking rich. So if it just so happens to be wrong one time, I'm not going to be a degenerate and get back a large percentage of my gains on one red day that rarely ever happens. I'm going to be proud and I'm going to be like, yeah, this is what led to my success and fucking own it. But obviously, if there's a break of trend, I do adapt accordingly. I like to cut losses quick. Sometimes I switch to the other side of the trend, or sometimes I just wait for the next best level to trade against the trend, which is what we were doing on Wednesday, which is what I was doing on Wednesday. Calls towards 753 after 758 didn't work, which is the exact lows. But look, this is the only level where I would consider puts. With the amount of bullish confirmations, I could give a fuck if there's a break of trend or if I lost money on Friday. One way to look at trading is just like the principle and the statistics. If statistically I'm getting very rich and I'm right the vast majority of the time doing something, I could really give a fuck if I'm wrong and you know, I end up losing some money. At the end of the day, part of trading is like doing what consistently works for you rather than trying to trade the one break of the trend of an action that you rarely do. In that particular situation, if I rarely do something as a trader, which is like in this bullish market, buying puts at oversold levels, if there's a break of trend, right? Because even if it cracks, it can come straight back up to and then reverse. Sometimes it goes a little bit lower first. But look, I I'd rather be wrong once in a while or even potentially lose some money on a break of trend than try to be like right with it. And one of the reasons why is it's just like what has led to my consistency in results? Has it been to adapting to one break of trend, to one time where the market goes red, or has it been to consistently perform an action that's not going to work 100% of the time but works the vast majority of the time? It's been the other way. I think one could argue that trying to adapt to something that rarely happens isn't the most advantageous way to be trading. In that particular situation, it might even be better just off to go have a small red day or just start off red and adapt or just wait for the next level against the trend with what you're normally doing. That's what I did. I didn't fucking adapt in terms of buying puts on Wednesday. G-Roar did, and he made massive wins. He's the absolute best at that like both ways and puts and calls shit. It's fucking crazy. Um I've aligned myself with calls just on how well this strategy works. If the market ever goes against me, it's like, dude, calls have been so good. If it goes against me, I could just cut my loss quicker. Even if I have the loss to zero, I'll typically make it all back and more on the next trade because the next level just works out so well. It's like that was the beauty of Wednesday, where if 758 didn't work out well and there was lack of confirmation, I still went with it, but I knew that, which is why I cut it so fucking quickly too, because the confirmation was looking shitty. Red, green, red, lower highs, all red, green, reds, right? But 753 was the next level to buy calls with exact lows, making losing a personal choice, even with a 50% win rate. It's like, dude, options give you options. There's options traders that are successful with win rates as low as 20%. But you know, this could be the lows. This is our break and retest. So look, this is our break and retest level for calls right here. This is our oversold level for calls right here. This is our level for puts right here. Um, if you want a bonus level for puts to get in and out against a trend that could push higher, I would say right here, 756. You got a little break and retest level right here in between 756, 757 with a quick confirmation. Just a quick scalp on calls, nothing too, a quick scalp on puts, nothing too crazy there. Best level for puts up here. And yes, the market could potentially go higher than 758. It is possible this goes to 760. So if you're wanting for the absolute best level possible for puts, 760 is the absolute best level possible for puts. 760, especially into the close. 758 will likely drop first. It could push higher. 756 to 757 is our lowest and worst level for puts. That's a quick scalp against the trend in and out with bearish confirmation. Nothing too crazy. I would avoid it for the most part unless you're a professional trading against the trend with the lowest worst levels. 753 we want calls. 751 to 750 we want calls. Now, just to quickly disclose the break of trend. So if SPY goes below 750, there's going to be a break of trend. In terms of where it will be heading, 747 will be your next level. So this means if we go below 750, market starts to flip bearish. If we go below, I would say 749. So if we go below 749, we go to 740, 750. Now, I want calls here. I want to buy calls here on a bearish day. I want to get in. I want to get out. In terms of where I want to hold for the bigger win, I want to hold for the bigger win right here. Our best level on a bearish trend day break of trend at the gap close reversal, right? So again, this is if we go below 749 and the most likely outcome does not happen. It tends to happen, it tends to work, but we don't blindly go with that, right? Unless it makes sense. In terms of one way, it makes sense to blindly do something. It's like, well, if ES, every single time ES gaps down, sometimes it goes up down a little bit more, but it always recovers and fills the gap. If people are positioned themselves to just hold the trade, despite how far it drops, they're not going to be able to lose. Traders lose because they cut losses. That's why. Just because a trade is down doesn't mean it's a loss. It's not a loss until it's realized, right? Just because a basketball team is down 30 points during the third quarter doesn't mean that they can't come back and win at the fourth quarter by 10 fucking points. That's basketball. That's fucking life. People need to be able to see through the reality of a situation. We can't see. Look, the longer you hold a trade, the harder it is to get at the exact lows. The quicker you trade, I would say the easier it is to get the exact lows. That's where scalping has such an unfair advantage because you could just size in super fucking big, cut the trade quick, and then when it works, it's going to be typically a 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio. And if you know how to do it, it's going to work fucking 8 or 9 out of 10 fucking times. And you're going to run up fucking bands. It's like, dude, if there's traders holding trades that are down 90% and it's working 9 out of 10 times coming back to the life and going green, imagine how many scalps you could make that are in alignment with the side of that trade, right? So the shit's fucking insane, man. This is the best time to trade. This is the best time to be alive within the stock market. Look, we have a gap at 745.59. SPY has been consistently reversing at the oversold gaps. So obviously on a bearish trend day, we're going to be buying calls here. And then this is our next level right here at 743. So our levels for calls are 747, 740, 745.59 for a gap close reversal, break and retest, and 742.75 for a gap close reversal, break and retest, right? Those are our best levels for calls and only levels for calls if the market goes below 749 for our bearish break of trend day. Yes, you can obviously use that level in this information for when the market does decide to drop below 749, but it's not as simple as that. I would say, the further it happens, the more confirmations you're going to need. And you need to keep up with the videos daily in terms of pattern and trend recognition. It's going to help determine and confirm things on where we're at. And when things get upgraded to automation buy levels, just how 753 was, which was literally the exact lows for a massive spike, right? But look, anyone who watched my previous videos is all well aware of how I raved about that 753 level. And that was literally the lows of day for a massive spike on an extremely bearish trend day that made us a fuck ton of money with this green, red, green bullish move. Green enough to get anyone red who decided to buy calls with a bearish confirmation. It's like, dude, sometimes calls be working so well, I'll just get the fuck in and get out for the fuck of it. It's like the amount of fucking money and success we've had with call options. I'm not the one to sit here to try to like make money with a break a trend. It's like, dude, if the trend breaks, I'll just wait for a better level to buy calls. Like that's the shit that I'm fucking on rather than trying to adapt and trade, against how I've been trading 1 out of 20, 1 out of 15, 20 days. But G-Roar, dude, he's fucking crushing this shit both ways. He's going puts and calls. I've done calls for so fucking long. It's like, dude, I don't even like touching puts. Part of trading is consistency. Some people are just consistent both ways, and that's what they do. It's like, dude, I've had so much success with calls and so much consistency with calls. And it's not just that, it's like it's my belief system, and my structure. It's my foundation. You see, I'm choosing to focus on calls because the trend is bullish and Trump's in office. That's why. That's not to say that there's not an edge with puts, there's not a time for puts, right? But I'm just choosing to align myself with what I believe is the best thing to do within the market in terms of getting results, right? One of the things that has destroyed bears was when these bullish headlines came out at support levels. Calls went up 1,000% plus, puts went straight to zero. There's advantages as a trader to aligning yourself with the trend. And one thing I want you to understand is the macro trend is bullish. So when you're trading the micro price action, that doesn't mean the short term price action is going to be bullish because of the long term trend is bullish. However, when that long term bullish trend kicks in, it's going to override that short term fucking trend. A lot of confirmations are going to go out the fucking book. Sometimes 2 + 2 isn't going to equal 4 if you're not in alignment with the long term bullish trend when it kicks in, right? And it's going to destroy fucking traders who are against it. Now, you still have to be aware of when that long-term trend has rare little quick flips like this, but it still recovers, but you have to be aware of that and adapt accordingly. And sometimes that can mean trading less. Sometimes that could mean having small red days if you're focused on just one side. Sometimes that can mean not making as much money temporarily, right? Um, but I always like to focus, even as a trader, to align myself with the macro because when those macro days kick in, when the market hits new all-time highs, it's very advantageous to be in alignment with in calls, But look, man, the Bears they've gotten absolutely fucking destroyed. Like it's insane how people would want to buy puts, but the beauty of day trading is people just know how to buy puts in bullish markets and I know how to do it. It's just not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to align myself with a different system that I would say gives me the strongest foundation to take bigger position sizes and to align myself stress free without any problems heading my way. One thing bears have to worry about in this market is a bullish fucking headline going straight to fucking zero. If I'm sizing in on a trade and it goes straight to zero, well, that's going to be a problem. And that's where one of the disadvantages come in with these news headlines coming out on zero dates. But to all the favor, all the headlines have been bullish, even when they've been bearish. It's like, dude, the only time SPY has been bearish, it's pretty interesting how this works. It's almost as if, like, when SPY's had bearish bad news, it comes out like during extended hours. You buy the dip on ES and then it recovers. And then when SPY is bullish news, it comes out during normal trading hours and you buy call options on dips and you fucking bank literally before the news. It's like this shit is wild. If you guys have been looking at the trends, literally all the bad news has been coming out um during extended hours and then ES gaps down and the shit recovers anyways. And the good news has been coming out during normal trading hours, right? Doesn't mean that's going to happen all the time, but part of trading is just putting yourself in alignment with what system, what foundation you want to be in, right? So I gave you the levels. We'll go over, the trades here shortly. But one thing that, for those of you who stay to the end, I want to give you some of the best information. And I think this is gonna provide a lot of clarity, right? So I want to explain to you guys one of the things that I like about the stock market most. This is something where at some point I'm likely going to make a separate video on, put more thought into it, and stuff like that, rather than just going straight off the top of my head, right? But I do want to bring awareness to this. So before I get into that, I wanted to quickly mention this. If you guys watch my previous content, you guys are all well aware that my profit target before Trump leaves office is over $1,200 on the SPY. I'm extremely bullish on SPY. I think it's gonna hit 1,000 plus. But I just want to show you in terms of like where I think we're at currently, and I believe this is the monthly chart in terms of what I'm referring to. But I'm gonna take a quick look at the weekly chart too. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, we'll go with the weekly chart. So take a look. Look at how this is topping. Big sell off, big recovery, big sell off, big recovery, right? So when the SPY went above this resistance, this had a massive bullish run, drop back down to retest the pre. So look, this is what I want you to understand is this. Um, let's see. All right, so resistance, breakout, retest, previous resistance, bottom, another bullish breakout, right? So if this shit ever went back down to this level or this level, oh, dude, we are all buying call, especially this level. And that's like swing trading opportunities. And then when the market drops to this zone, when it happens, it's going to be more bullish breakout, more all-time highs. In the meantime, until this starts, until this shit starts consolidating and forming roofs and roofs and roofs, because look at how the market has been selling off. It hasn't been selling straight off. At first, it topped and formed lower highs for fucking weeks and weeks and weeks. Look what it's doing now. It's just going straight the fuck up, meaning SPY is still doing this, and it's going to fucking destroy bears. Look, all SPY is doing right now, it's in this mode. Gradual uptrends, gradual uptrends, gradual uptrends, small pullbacks, gradual uptrends. Look, when the market starts consolidating and not moving and topping, 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 then at some point the bears are going to have their massive rally. When they have their massive rally, we're all going to be focused on puts in that situation, obviously, along with calls at our rare oversold levels. But then we'll be looking to buy calls when it drops back down to here and to here. So one of the reasons why bears are getting absolutely fucked into oblivion is because we're in a bull rally cycle where the SPY broke above resistance and it's not forming bearish weeks, it's not forming lower highs, it's not even fucking consolidating. It just keeps pushing higher and higher. So for example, if there's resistance right here, right, has a massive pullback, spikes back up, breaks out, retest green, red, green. Instead of this massive move to the downside, it's going to have a massive move to the upside. And it's typically not going to flash crash or drop until you got a lot of red bearish weeks, you got a lot of consolidation, you got a lot of chop, you got a lot of failed breakouts. Look at the same thing, a lot of consolidation, a lot of chop, a lot of failed breakouts, right? But when SPY is doing this, gradually slanting up, not consolidating, not consolidating, not consolidating, not consolidating, failing to break out a million fucking times. When it's not doing that, this shit is just going to keep on running when it's sideways, slanted, bullish, trended like that, right? That's why, like, dude, I wouldn't even be like interested in fucking puts until the SPY looked like this, where like it has a nice pullback, goes back up, and then it just like chops. It's just like fucking dead, 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 dead. And then it flash crashes for a fucking month, right? And just to show you a monthly chart perspective, if you look at the monthly chart perspective, um, you're gonna see, here we go again, resistance. Like, look at how many months it failed to break out, right? That's typically when it crashes, right? And then once it breaks out, breakout, 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 breakout. Here we go again. Resistance. Look at how many months it failed to break out. Then it sells off. Look at what it's doing now. Look, it's going up. It's going up. There is no consolidation. There is no pullbacks. There is no resistance. It keeps on going up. So this is where bears get absolutely destroyed. When SPY breaks above a major resistance level, right? This was major resistance, big pullback. This was major resistance, big pullback. When SPY breaks above it and it's doing nothing but green bullish weeks, it's doing nothing but trending sideways up, right? Bears get rocked. The only way bears win in a situation like this typically, obviously they have to know how to trade. They can make money that way, but it's not the most advantageous way to trade. Um, Unless you're doing a power hour YOLO system with the last 30-minute candle. But look, when it starts, see sideways green, oh, big drop. Oh, failed to break out, failed to break out, failed to break out, massive drop. When it starts consolidating and topping, and when it has typically it'll have one drop burst, like see consolidating, shopping, one drop burst, right? Then you know it's going to start to gravitate back towards this 700 level for that big pullback. But in the meantime, you know, you just got to align yourself with the sideways uptrend. So you have to situate your portfolio to be in alignment with survival. In terms of who's surviving and who has the easiest, it's the bulls on these sideways uptrends and creating strategies for calls in a situation like this, right? For those of you who want puts, like, dude, I would say wait for the market to crash, wait for it to spike back up. And then when you see it consolidating and failing to break out, puts, 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 puts. And then when it starts snapping sideways, red and bearish, yeah, hit those fucking puts if you want. I mean, you don't even have to do that. You could just wait for the break and retest level to buy calls at 700. So I want to bring some awareness to that. But look, there's something that I want you guys to understand, and this is very important. And you know, I don't think a lot of people bring a lot of awareness to. And this has been something that has been very important for me to understand. With my life and with my trading. So one of the reasons why I love trading so much, right, is because I want you to think about this, right? Imagine this, right? So I want you guys to understand, like, as you go through life, you're going to experience things, right? As you go through life, as you do things, as you experience things, as you meet people and stuff like that, try different things, try different experience, right? Look, as you're going through things, as you're leveling up, you're gonna experience things, right? And I like to think that everyone has their own gifts, everyone has their own abilities, etc., etc. It just takes time to unlock and it takes time to level up and stuff like that. But one of the things that I've noticed is like as I've become more like open-minded, more intelligent, more aware, more selective of what I do with my time, who I hang around with, and as I've, you know, no longer do like habits that were like setting me back or no longer doing things that were not in my alignment or not in my like best interest, right? As like stuff like that, and I'm like progressing and I'm leveling up, operating on a higher frequency, more energy, higher vibration, right? um no longer doing things that are gonna like set me back or waste my time and stuff like that, right? And this another thing I want to add is this is a very interesting point. Some people, when it comes to like bad habits or doing things that they shouldn't be doing, right? Just wasting their time on stupid shit like scrolling or whatever the fuck. Some people think, oh, you just cut those things out. That's one way to try to do it, is just like to remove the bad habits, right? But an interesting way that I've actually thought of doing it is like leveling up so fucking hard where you no longer do it. You see what I'm saying? Like someone could have bad habits. Someone could have things that they've consistently done for a long time that are no longer useful or good to them, but it's their habit and it's what they do and whatever the fuck, or it's hard to change or whatever the fuck. I mean, the longer you do something, typically the harder it is to break that chain, right? So I would say one of the strongest ways to break that chain, especially in my experience, is not necessarily removing it. Obviously, you can try to go that route and like remove it, but not maybe completely remove it, just do it less or whatever the fuck. But like in my experience, I think part of breaking bad habits or like part of just like losing that altogether is not necessarily like intentionally cutting out and removing it. You can try to do that and see how that goes for you, but obviously cut back on whatever the fuck it is. But like in my experience, it's finding a way to level up so hard where you just no longer do it. Like some people think like, okay, I'm gonna remove this shit that isn't gonna get me to where I want to go, and then I'm just gonna try to level up. But in my experience, I think one of the easiest ways to just break all the like shit I don't want to do or like bad habits or whatever the fuck, like to just break those chains off, is just like leveling up first and just keep on leveling the fuck up, leveling the fuck up, leveling the fuck up, and then the shit just falls off. Like it's a good combination would be like removing access to that shit, but like sometimes the pull is just so strong or it's just like so consistent or it's just your habit that you go back to it. So just, trying to cut it off in a way. But like I like to think of what really breaks bad habits and what breaks things that people shouldn't be doing rather than it just being as simple as, you know what, I'm no longer going to do this and just making that conscious decision, right? Easier said than done. And then, there's emotions, psychological things and stuff like that. And then just consistency of the habit, change, all that stuff. I like to think one of the best ways to remove something like that is just to level up so hard. That has been my experience. You know, whether I've been attached to something, whether I've been more emotional towards something, whether I've been, more addicted to something, whether I've done something for just such a long period of time that, our brains just want to do it, even though it doesn't make sense to do whatever the fuck. I would like to think rather than, some people say like, oh, just remove it, oh, just no longer do it. It's like, I don't think it's as simple as that. I think you could do it less and that's smart, but like I genuinely think one of the best ways is like for a lot of things is just to level up so hard in your life, to want it so bad and to try so hard at like what you're trying to accomplish and just keep on focusing on leveling up and making the right choices, right? That the chains just fall off. You just no longer do those things. Like it gets to a point where if someone's leveling up so fucking high, the bad habits, they're not even in fucking sight. They're not even there. They just like fall off. They don't even exist. It's like you didn't even like remove it. The shit just removed it fucking self. It's like God removed it for you, like as you're going through things, you're leveling up. But like, I think that's a wise way to break chains because like some people have habits that they try to break but they can't break them. And what I would say is if you try to intentionally remove something and you just can't break it, obviously you should be able to cut back from it, but it's just still okay, like a gravitational pull, right? If just something has such a strong pull on someone where they're just wasting time either thinking about it, even if they're not doing it, like you guys get what I'm saying? Like it's to level up so hard that it just falls off. Like another thing is like as I leveled up in my life, it got to a point where I couldn't do certain things that I did in my past and like some of the things I like to do, but there's just no ROI in even doing those things. Some of those things they're not even like bad for me or anything like that, but it's typically just like a waste of time or just like it's not on the path that I'm meant to be on. So I mean, I have certain gifts that like what came with certain gifts was like it's not all upside, but the way I look at it in a lot of ways it is upside because it's leading me to the right path to live. I just can't live certain ways with the person that I've become. That's just the reality. Even if it's like something normal, there's just certain things that like I can't do in certain situations. But I would like to say like for some of you who have bad habits, if you try to remove it and like it just is still there, you still feel it, you still think about it, whatever the fuck, you just gotta level up so fucking hard where the shit just falls off. Like you're not even thinking about the shit, it just falls off. It's like, dude, if you guys get to a place so high in your life and achieve things and level up and grow as a person, like if you start growing as a person, you're just gonna see of like how all the dumb shit is just gonna fall off and you're not even gonna want to do it because your life is getting so much better and you keep on going up, right? But look, I'm gonna save this is one of the best things. I want to save this for the end, right? This is a very important realization that I think every trader should have and to spend some time thinking about. So this is very important, guys. The reason why I love trading is this, right? So I want you to understand this. People in this world, they change. And as you change, for people who are genuinely like trying to change, trying to become the best, highest version of themselves, doing whatever the fuck it takes, right? You know, like if you don't have someone to talk to, maybe you just talk to Chat GPT about certain things, like to expand it or to get some sort of clarity, right? But people who are trying their absolute best to perform at a higher level, operate on a higher level, um, you know, for people who they know what their peak mental clarity feels like, right? That's the thing. So we all go through things in life. We all experience things in life. We all accomplish things in life. So with that being said, I would like to think that, as you guys become more aware, as you guys, become more intelligent, you're going to know and you're going to remember specific times in your life, almost like you went through a portal, or it could be like an awakening or a spiritual awakening or a realization or a very like deep thought or a very deep experience, right? You're going to remember in those situations how you felt, when something happened or when you did something or even something very simple, how you felt, right? You guys know like what it feels like to be at your peak, to feel very, very good, to feel very mentally sharp, to feel very clear, to feel, very high vibrational, to feel very aware. I'm sure there's times in our lives we can all go back and compare to like who we were in the past to who we are now and see how far we've grown. To see like as certain experiences happened or as time has passed, to see like, oh wow, like in this situation or during this time, oh wow, like my intelligence was all the way up here, higher intelligence, higher awareness, oh, certain abilities. I'm seeing things that most people don't see, right? That other people have a hard time seeing. I'm thinking about things that other most people don't think about, or they don't think as deeply as that, or they don't look at it as many angles, right? Some people have the gifts of like seeing things that people don't see, or thinking in a certain way that other people don't think about, or looking at, one thing at a million different fucking angles, right? And then you can plug that into Chat GPT and even expand it right more, right? Everybody has their gifts. And as people experience things and as people get older, um, a lot of things can level up, right? Intelligence, awareness, heightened awareness, the ability to see things that other people don't see, the ability to think how other people don't think, right? So stuff like that, right? So basically, as you're leveling up, as you're evolving, we all know what it's like. We remember, right? We remember certain periods of life in life where like we felt like, you know, I was operating at a higher level. I was very productive during that time. My state of mind felt very clear, felt like limitless, felt like, peak mental clarity. Oh wow, I was getting a lot of done during that time, right? Um, and obviously you can sit there and reflect and you can sit there and figure out, how to become that way more consistently. But no matter what, you guys are going to have, not the best of days. Some days not be 100%, other days 100%, right? Not every day is 100% the best day. Sometimes you might wake up not feeling the best, not the best mood, I don't more emotional, or like slip back into like a habit short term, or like maybe you wake up like just tired, or brain fog. Like no, it's hard to be 100% all the time. But the point is like, I would like to think that, as you guys experience that and you know what it feels like, you start to research and you start to figure yourself out on how to be like that, on how to be your highest, best version of yourself every single day. Right? If you truly, do the research and you truly understand yourself and you put the work in to do that every single day, which obviously means cutting out stupid fucking habits and operating to your highest potential, optimizing for that and choosing to live that way, right? For those of you who actually want to be like that, for those of you who actually want that consistent life, right? But the point I'm making is like, we all know what it's like, and we all remember what it's like, for us to have our spark when we're at our peak. We know what that feels like, um mentally. We know what that feels like emotionally. We know what that feels like working and productive, right? So then from there, if we know what it's like, we start to think like, how can I be like that every single day? What do I have to do in my life to be at my absolute best version, to feel that way, to be that way every single day, right? And we start to work towards like that. But this is the main point I wanted to make. So obviously every day it's very, very wise to, work towards to be that version. Like some people want to be like that every single day, and they work towards that, and that's amazing. But the beauty of that is, this is the point I wanted to make, right? So imagine this, you know, you're trying your absolute best to be the highest version of yourself. Obviously, some of you guys don't have all the answers yet. You're figuring yourself out, right? Time goes on, you evolve, you get better. But the point is, you're trying your absolute best to be the best version of yourself, right? So the question is, as you're becoming and as you are your best version of yourself, what do you do with that? Because this is where I've noticed with my life, this gets very interesting, right? So imagine like you feel like you're at the peak of your game. You know, like your frequency is off the fucking charts. Your vibration, it's off the fucking charts. The way you're seeing things, you look back to how you used to see, you're like, dude, the shit I'm on now, it's completely different. This is like legendary gifted shit, right? Like in spiritual realm and stuff like that. Like you look at like who you were and what you were experiencing in your past, and then you compare it to like now. And then sometimes for some people, their past version they look at was like better, and then they question why. Maybe you were going through something different, or maybe like you had different habits, or you were doing different things, and then they try to figure out how to get back to that version or how to make a better version, etc. But like the point I'm making is this: if we're choosing to operate at the best version of ourselves and we're figuring that out every single day and optimizing our life for that and trying our best to operate the best version of ourselves, then the next question comes to this: what do we apply that to, right? Because imagine if like every single, so imagine this: you know what it takes to be the highest best version of yourself, right? You don't need all the answers. As time goes on, you take action, you figure things out. Chat GPT, figure this shit out, right? You keep on leveling up, you keep on leveling up, you keep on going higher and higher and higher and higher and higher, right? And you're going at the speed of light, and you're starting to see like, okay, I'm this like amazing person, right? You guys will truly know it if you truly try it. Just put it this way: it doesn't have to be a money thing. I like in this situation, I don't even like you don't even have to think about money. What I'm talking about is becoming an amazing person. You guys will genuinely know what it's like. When you're an amazing person, you'll start to know, like, dude, I'm fucking amazing. The weird part is, it's like at first, a lot of people don't know. And then as time goes on, they figure it out and realize that they're like, oh shit, I'm actually this person. Like, that's the thing. Some people are actually that person and they don't even fucking know it yet. Sometimes other people reflect it back to them, or other people know it before that person does it. And then sometimes they try to do stupid shit or whatever. But the point is, like, you know, once you are and once you know like you're that person, like you're that amazing fucking person, like like dude, this is like my evolution's fucking crazy, like I'm that guy, like this is what I do and stuff like that. Like this is the interesting part. So think about it: like if someone was operating at their peak potential, if someone was operating at their 100%, right? If someone had their peak mental clarity, peak energy, um they were at 100%. This is where it gets interesting, right? That's obviously, a special type of person. And it takes a lot of consistency to become that. But once you become that, keep that and keep on evolving, right? Once you guys start slipping down, it's slippery fucking slope, and then you got to work on getting back towards that, and then even creating a better version, leveling up higher. But like, what I want you to understand is this: as I evolved and leveled up, I've experienced where like I could just feel good doing anything. I could do the most normal things. And then I look back at the past me doing these normal things like numb, depressed, anxiety, or just like bored. Now it's like I become such an amazing fucking person within myself. It's like I could do the most normal things and have a ball, but then it got to a level where like I can no longer do certain things if it's not aligned with like who I am and on my mission. Like there's just certain normal things that I can't even do nowadays. Like there's fucking levels to this shit. But the point I'm making is like, if someone is operating at their peak potential, and this is the crazy part, it's like, dude, put it this way: you could feel like you have like a multi-millionaire frequency. Some people, the way you move, the way you do things, people are going to look at you like, is this guy the boss? Does this guy work here? Is this guy the manager? Like you'll go into stores and people will be like, do you work here? Or like, is this guy the fucking manager? Or like you'll go into places, they don't even have to say anything, you could just tell like the way they look, like you shift the whole room of the place. People think like, who is this guy? Like, is he a part of something here? Or like, who the fuck is this guy? Like people start wondering, right? What I'm saying is like, you can be and feel like a celebrity even if you're not a celebrity. And then your whole everywhere you go, people will start to know who you are, and you'll be like your own like mini little celebrity, right? Like dude, people are becoming celebrities and they're not even like a fucking celebrity. They're like a very well known in like their community and stuff like that. But like another thing is like money. Like another thing is like, someone could have like not a lot of money, but the shit they're operating on, it's like, dude, people will know and people will feel it, and even you'll start to see it and you'll start to get it. Like there's people operating on frequencies where it's like, dude, you like this person's like a multi fucking millionaire, or this person should be rich as fuck, right? And I'm telling you, people with not a lot of money could get these frequencies where like they feel it in themselves and they know, like, dude, I'm the shit I'm fucking feeling. Like, it's like, uh, put it this way. There's times in my life where like I've been rich, but like depressed, anxiety, fucking really like pissed the fuck off, not happy with who I was, with where I was at in life, and just who the fuck I was and how I was feeling, right? And there's been times in my life where I was broke, um, and then also rich too, with the rich fucking frequency. I've had it broke and I've had it fucking rich, and I'm like, dude, I'm sitting here saying like a rich person would pay a fucking fortune to feel this way, and this is like the point I'm making. It's like, you know, it's a lot easier to get rich if you have a rich frequency. You can I really think like if someone's rich and they don't have that frequency, I really think the person who's broke has a better chance of getting richer than the person who's already rich. Like, I think the person who's broke has a better chance if they have the frequency, you know? Because when the rich, if the rich guy, if all he has is paper, he's just gonna want more paper, but then at some point he's gonna want a frequency. And to get to the higher levels of the paper, you need a certain frequency. Some people get rich, but they don't have the frequency, or they're not the person that they wanted to become. They just keep on making more and more money. It's like, I mean, I think to even access certain levels of money and wealth, you need to have a certain frequency. But like, this is the point I wanted to make, and this is where it gets interesting. As I was leveling up in my life, I tried applying myself to different areas. And I quickly realized, I started to realize like nothing or nobody could meet me with where I was at. Like, I started to see, like, wait a second, like these people aren't seeing what I'm seeing. These people aren't thinking how I'm thinking. Or like whoever I hang around with, like these people aren't operating the way I'm fucking operating. Like just to like I don't know, to give you like a simple thing, like I don't let's say someone's working a job. One person, the way they're working their job, it's like 20 fucking people in one. It's like, dude, who the fuck is this? This motherfucker is working like they're getting more done than 20 fucking people. And then you have another guy just working the normal, you know, that just working fucking as like just one person, just working normally, right? So I'm saying like, you know, if people like unplug and unlock themselves and figure their shit out, it's literally like becoming someone of like you're operating at such a high level where like you can outwork 20 different fucking people. Your intelligence fucking saying all this shit, but this is where it gets interesting. You know, what do you apply that to? If someone becomes that person, let's say they don't even have the money, but they have the rich frequency, right? If someone becomes very intelligent, if someone has very high awareness, if someone has gifts, what do they put that into? Where's the ROI, right? Obviously they can get a normal job. And if they do that and they apply themselves at their peak potential to that normal job, what sucks about that is they're typically not going to get the pay that they deserve. At best, they get a raise or a higher position, and sometimes they don't even want the higher position because it's not in alignment with who they are. But some people are so real and true to themselves, no matter what job that they work out, they give it 100%. And then other people do things differently to not give it 100% and to get out of that job and just use it for money or whatever the fuck. But like the interesting thing is this. Let's say like you figure out how to get like a very high frequency. It could be a very high money frequency. It could be like the person you've become frequency. Like, you're fucking like you're there's a fucking earthquake going on when you walk past fucking someone. When you walk into a room, you shift the whole fucking energy. You're seeing shit that other people aren't seeing. You're thinking about things that other people aren't seeing. Like you basically escaped the matrix. You left the system. Like, you're on some high fucking level shit that wherever you go, people aren't really like that. It's very hard to find, especially like if you weren't born into that type of life where, some people, they're born into a life like that privately and they're raised that way and they become it that way. Other people, dude, they're thrown into the fucking fire and they become it that way, but they're still around the fire. And then they're left with, should I stay around this fire or should I go off and find my people or should I just live alone? Like, this shit is fucking insane. But like, the point is, when someone becomes that person and they try their best to, level up and keep on going higher, what the fuck do they apply themselves to? what is it in this world where what that person does, the job they work, the time they put in, what could meet them at that level, right? And I'm telling you, this is the beauty of the stock market. The stock market can meet someone at a high level frequency instantly. That's the biggest advantage of the stock market. Someone could come into the market, they don't have a lot of money, but if they're a certain type of person, it gives them the ability where the price action can meet them at it. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, look, if someone's very intelligent, if someone's very aware, if someone has gifts and they apply that to the stock market, the market's going to meet them with where they're at. If someone works a normal job and they go all out, they're going to stand out. They're not really going to get paid more. Maybe a small raise. Maybe they get upgraded to a position that they don't want, or maybe someone recognizes them and notices them. And then they give them an opportunity to work a different job somewhere else. But like the point is, guys, in terms of scalability, in terms of surgical, mental, intelligence, fucking dominance, what better than the stock market? If someone's a fucking genius and, you know, they know the shit that they're on, why the fuck apply that to a normal life and stand out that way when they could apply themselves to the stock market? You see, that's what I love about the stock market. When I trade, I can sit here and I can observe the market. As I'm observing the market, I can say, all right, I know everything that I'm doing in my life. I'm operating at a clean, pure signal. I'm feeling very high frequency. You know, I'm going to wait for a trade where the market meets my frequency. If I'm on a very rich frequency, wealthy frequency, it's my choice to be that and to observe the market and say, okay, I know what a high, rich, wealthy level frequency trade looks like. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to wait for the market to meet me where I'm at. And then when it does, I'm going to execute on it. But the interesting thing is, there's a lot of these people in the world who become this, but they're not applying themselves to something that's going to get them an ROI. And you see, that's why I love the stock market. You don't need people. That's the thing. With the stock market, you don't need people. If you're a brilliant person, you can come in, you could fuck the whole game up, and you could take everyone's money. You know? When it comes to starting a business, oh, that's a completely different story. Think about like with this business I'm doing here, right? I have a business, we have a real-time zero-day options trade and learn system. When it comes to that business, we could be the best traders in the world, you know? But if nobody hears about us, we're not going to get paid accordingly to our frequency, to our skill set, if nobody knows about us, because people have to know about us. But with the stock market, nobody has to know anything. All you have to do is come in and fuck up the market. What greater motivation than to become good at something where when you apply yourself, it's all on you? It's a direct reflection of you. The biggest thing you're facing is yourself. There is no competition, there is no other opponents you're facing. At the end of the day, you're the one who's executing the trades. You decide what you put yourself in, and you decide what you take yourself out of in terms of the trades, right? You decide what system you want to use. You decide if you want to hold to a zero. You decide if you want to add to a win. You decide if you want to set a prop loss. You decide if you want to set a stop loss. You get to make the decisions. The stock market is a direct reflection of some of yourself. And you see, that's what I love about it. Because take this, for example. I've had people, and for the person who I am, I leveled up through them. And the way I was able to do that is because the people who I came into contact with, they reflected something to me that I needed to see about myself. And they also reflected things about them that I needed to see too, right? And as I leveled up, a lot of these people did not come with me. Basically, it was like a catalyst. People come into your life as a catalyst. They show you things about them and they show you things about yourself. It's like a mirror, right? And that mirror can show you things about yourself that you've never seen before and can also show you things about them that, you know, you see and then you decide, with what you see, what you do, right? But the thing with people is they're not going to meet you where you're at. If someone goes up at the speed of fucking light, some people don't have the capacity to even meet certain people with where they're at, and that's completely fine. That's the thing. Like, not everyone is for everyone. You could be the best person in someone's life and they could throw you out like you're complete fucking trash and never speak to you again. That's the reality of life, you know? And that's a reflection of them, like literally of the shit that they're, you know what I mean? But not everyone in life is there to stay in your life, and not everyone in your life is like gonna meet you at your level and at your capacity, right? But if they're a good person, that doesn't mean you just dispose of them. You could accept that and you could spend less time with them, but you could just understand like it's okay to be friends with people who treat you good, even though they're not, the highest level or the most intelligent, or they're not like evolving like you are. It's completely fine to have friends and relationships like that. Connections and relationships are extremely important in life. It's a very beautiful thing with evolution. But some people, they just don't have the fucking capacity to be normal around certain people. Like, this shit is just insane. But look, this is the point I'm making. Like, what I like about the stock market is this is genuinely a game. Certain things are to an exact science. Not everything is, obviously. A news headline can come out and fuck shit up, right? That's why I'm trying to align myself with calls. But like, nothing works 100% of the time, but it is what it is. Like, what I want you to understand is like the reason why I become so obsessed with the market is because I look at who I am and you know, like no matter what I apply that to, the highest ROI financially is the stock market. Like, there's just no bigger ROI financially, Like, so if someone was focused on finances and they start figuring themselves out and leveling the fuck up, becoming smarter, fucking more aware, more conscious, more unplugged, leaving the fucking system, like, I would say the stock market is one of the most brilliant things that they can apply themselves to. You don't have to deal with people, and the market is human nature. You can sit here all day and capitalize on people's emotions. You can sit here all day and capitalize on people's trades. You could sit here all day and capitalize on people getting trapped. It's like, dude, G Roar is winning on trades almost every single time that are dropping 90%. You don't think someone's going to see that and figure out how to capitalize on that by scalping with the trend? Like, the fuck? It's just me and him. We're literally just in alignment. I'm not even like doing that. We're literally just in alignment. But obviously, if I see that, that's gonna give me a fuck ton more confidence on the trades that I'm in. Of course it is. If he's right almost every single fucking time on a trade that's down 90%, of course I'm gonna be a lot more confident going in that direction. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna blindly go in that direction. Like, I trade how I trade. But if he's in alignment with how I trade, that's like the deadliest combination I've ever fucking seen. Um, you know, um when it comes to him and I like trading stuff, it's been absolutely deadly in situations like that when we're both in alignment, both trading our unique ways. But what I want you to understand is like dude, like just imagine becoming the highest level version of yourself. What the fuck are you gonna do with that? Are you just gonna live a normal life? Like, I've sat at a restaurant before. I felt numb, I felt depressed, nobody noticed me. Now, if I go to a restaurant, I shift the energy. Everybody fucking notice me. It's like I'm a little fucking celebrity. It's like I'm a fucking celebrity. People are fucking staring. It's like I fucking feel the energy. I feel every fucking thing. I'm like, now it's a whole fucking experience. Now, all of a sudden, something that was so boring, numb, depressed, anxiety, or whatever the fuck, is now a whole fucking experience. And I have to like sit here and evaluate this shit, with all the shit I'm fucking feeling and sensitivities. Like, can I even go here? Is this even worth my time? Do I want to feel and experience all that? It's like now everything is such a fucking event. Like, when you become a certain type of person, all of a sudden normal things aren't normal anymore. It's insane. This is why like a lot of rich people, like dude, this movie Richie Rich, it's like the perfect fucking like this kid was born into that life, and it's like the way of how like he was born into it in this movie. Basically, it's just showing of like in a way, certain people, that's what life becomes. It just becomes like a successful, structured way. It's literally like that. Literally, my life is like becoming like very similar. It's like that in a way. It's like I can't go to certain places anymore. I can't hang around a lot of people anymore. I can't do normal fucking things. Like I literally can't do it. Like my frequency, my shit can go from like a 10 to a fucking 5 if I'm in the wrong environment, if I'm around the wrong fucking people. Like another thing, like, some people have very like sensitivities and stuff, like chemicals have a very negative effect on me. And everywhere you go, people are wearing cologne, people are wearing perfume, people have weird fucking scents, people are putting on smelly fucking weird scented smells, fucking deodorants, people are putting on weird scented smelly fucking body wash. Like, dude, think about this. It's just so fucking crazy, man. Like, just think about this. Like, imagine if someone has like allergic negative reactions to fragrances, right? Imagine this. If I go out into the world, some motherfucker is gonna wear put on body wash that's scented, right? So some sort of tropical fragrance, whatever the fuck. Then they're gonna put on cologne or perfume, a completely different scent. Then they're gonna use scented detergent and fucking have that on their fucking clothes. And then they're gonna put on scented deodorant. Dude, that's four fucking and then oh my fucking gosh. Like, can you imagine this, guys? This is why people are so fucking like low because they're wearing all this scented fucking chemical bullshit. Like, research chemicals, research how chemicals affect people. Even if you think it's not affecting you, research what this shit does to people. Like, can you imagine this? There's people going around, they have they have a they have four different scents on them, and they're all different smells. Clothes, scented fucking detergent. Deodorant, scented fucking deodorant. Fucking perfume, cologne, scented fucking perfume, cologne. Right? Fucking, and that other fucking thing, like, there's just so much. That's just four little things. Imagine how people are so fucked up with the million fucking apps they have, the million fucking friends they have, all this energy, all this sense, all this fragrance. It's like, dude, if I go out into the real fucking world, it's like, oh, fuck. I feel everything. I see everything. I sense every fucking thing. I have a strong sense of every, like, dude, like, this is what I'm saying. Like, the shit I'm fucking on, right? Like, the shit I'm on, I'm not meant to live a normal life. Like, dude, I was watching this movie Richie Rich. This guy's living like a very like private type of life. Like, like very selective on like who he's with. He's born into living a certain way. And basically, like, what's happening with my life now, it's almost like I'm being like led or like curated to live a certain way. And even if I tried to live the other way, I could live it to a degree, but it's going to bring me so fucking down where I can't live it. Like, basically, I can't live like a normal way, but it looks like the normal way is not so normal because the most way people are living are fucked up. They have a million apps. They have a million different scents on them. Oh yeah, body wash. That was the fourth thing. Dude, imagine this. People have four different scents on them. Different smelling body wash, different smelling deodorant, different smelling detergent, different smelling cologne and perfume. That's 4 cents on one person. Imagine if someone's like allergic to that or sensitive to that, or just like it brings them down. They don't feel right. They're on a very high frequency and then they get a whiff of that shit and it lowers them. They don't feel right, right? And then they have to figure out, oh shit, I was just at a 10. Now I feel like I'm at a 6 because that one small little thing, right? Boom, how do I get back to a 10? And sometimes they can feel off for fucking hours. And another, like, everywhere you go, hotels have fucking signature scents, fragrances, right? Staying around an Airbnb, oh shit, now there's fucking Febreze everywhere. Now there's air fresheners everywhere. Like, I can't live a normal life, but basically, I'm looking at what that means, and it's like, that's not a normal life. It's not like the way how people are living and the way how America is, it's not normal. This is like a fucked up place to live. Everyone's fucked up right here. And people would realize how fucked up they were if they spent a day in the highest version of themselves. If someone spent one fucking day of the highest version of themselves and then they went straight back down to the lowest version of themselves and they compared their baseline, like, how the fuck do I get my baseline at that highest version of myself? Like, I'm tired of this shit. And like, dude, for me, this shit has gotten to a point where like I can't go to most restaurants because they wipe down the fucking table with these fucking like fragrance shits and it fucking bothers the fuck out of me. Like, guys, I'm telling you, if you operate at a high level and something has an effect on you, you either tolerate that shit and figure out how to get back to a 10 or you eliminate it. And me, I'm not tolerating shit. Cause dude, to go from a 10 to a 5 off of something so small is so bizarre. Yet I can go to a nightclub and I feel 100% fine. But if I sit down on a restaurant and they wipe the fucking table with some fucking like wet wipe shit or some fucking Clorox wipe, because not every restaurant wants to be normal and use like water, fucking lemon, or use just some basic fucking water shit. No, some people want to go crazy with the chemicals, right? Going to a gas station, oh, all of a sudden they want to spray fucking Windex everywhere. This blue fucking center, like, guys, this shit is crazy. But what I want you to understand is like things are different for everyone. Some people have like this chemical shit, but like the way I'm looking at this, instead of looking at this as like a disadvantage of like how I have to be aware of this shit and I can't do certain things, I'm actually looking at this from an angle of like, this is actually leading me to a way of how I'm supposed to live, which is like away from all this bullshit. Like and then I think of like what do wealthy people do? They all live in mansions away from everyone. Wealthy people don't live near any fucking one unless they know the person, and I'm starting to see why. It's because in order to get wealthy, someone has to have a certain frequency. They have to have that high frequency in a very stable, normal baseline. And there's going to be things in your life, whether that's, certain people around you, whether that's certain environments around you, whether that's certain smells around you that are going to pull you away from your normal baseline and they're going to lower you. And it could be the smallest of things. Like, for example, some of the things that have really brought me down from that high place have been scrolling on social media, have been using social media, have been scents, scented fragrances, chemicals. Chemicals have been another very big reason, right? You can literally clean your whole fucking house with water and vinegar. You don't have to sit here and waste all this time going to a store buying chemicals that smell bad and that are toxic fucking for you, right? It's like just because something doesn't bother someone doesn't mean that it's affecting them. And it could be causing something in their life. People wonder, why do I have these problems? Well, look around and see what you're doing with your life. People live a fucked up life so normal that it becomes normal and they're so buried in it. And then they start having problems and they start wondering, why do I have all these problems? This has happened all of a sudden, right? Like for me, I used to be able to just stay at a hotel. Now, if I stay in a fucking hotel, I can't fucking sleep there if it smells like fucking chemicals. And some hotels use signature scents. So it's like, oh shit, now I just can't live a normal life. But I'm looking at that as a way of like, that's the normal way of life, is not living they of what people think is a normal life. Look at the life that most people are living. They don't live with intent. They work a normal job. They don't do high frequency things. Their normal baseline is not a healthy baseline. They're operating on shit. A lot of people drink fucking alcohol or smoke fucking weed or eat like fucking shit, work shitty fucking jobs. They're not If they work a job, they're usually not operating at their highest potential and they're not incentivized to do so, but sometimes they can look at it the right way of like, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to operate the highest potential, and if I have to do this and I don't want to, I'm just going to try my best to get out of here and use this for what it's needed and operate my highest potential in another way while still being in that other thing, right? But like, dude, there's so many people in this world where just the normal way they're living, and this is the problem in America, it's just it's so fucking normal here to be a fuck up, right? Obviously, if someone from another country came to America, they would be like, oh wow, this is hilarious. We can get a dessert with like, we can have a fucking lemonade with 40 grams of sugar, and then we can have a brownie with a million fucking calories and another 40 grams of fucking sugar. People from other countries would come here and laugh, and they would be like, dude, this place is fucking worthless shithole. Oh, this place is just a place to have fun and fuck around and just get fucked up on food. Like, basically, guys, this whole system is fucked, right? And when you're living in this system and when you're born in this system, especially when you're not born into a wealthy life, like I could see why a lot of parents want to have like their kids like sheltered in a way because they know of like how fucked up so many people are. And they try to like shelter their kids so they can like, just get them away from that and then just help them level up in the way. But that's like the sheltered route. I didn't go through that route. Like, dude, I went through the route where I was thrown into a fucking fire. Like some people, they're born into a way of life. Like take like a rich person, for example, right? Usually like wealthy people, they like sheltered the kids in like, maybe private school, or they're very selective. They don't just allow their kid to go anywhere to hang out with just like normal regular people or just do normal things. Like it's usually a lot of the times, especially wealthy people, it could be like a very like sheltered, like curated life, and they try to like, you know, get the kids to become it like that or whatever the fuck. But like, dude, the way I figured, I was thrown into fucking fires. I was thrown into fucking fires. I was thrown into fucking, you know, good, bad, fucking, oh man, like fucking heaven and fucking hell. Like I was thrown into every fucking thing. That's how I got this shit. Like it wasn't through a sheltered fucking curated life of fucking like protection and like the fuck, but like I've experienced so much of that where like it's gotten to the point where like if I try to do something normal like that, I can't even do it, and it'll just like backfire on like I literally have to live a certain way. Like that's the shit I'm on. Like it's fucking crazy. I like to think that it's just pushing me. It's in a way like forcing me to just like do what I'm supposed to do. Like if this is who I am, well, do this, become this. Don't waste your time doing this. It's no longer worth your time, and it's just gonna hurt you or bring you lower, and you're not gonna be able to consistently do this anyways. But you guys just need to understand, man, life is fucking amazing, and you really got to be able to break on through to the other side and realize like what people call normal is usually crazy. Like this whole normal, like literally like doing the normal healthy things but just feeling the highest version of yourself is like the best feeling. But then you start to realize, like if I go to a restaurant and the whole room shifts and people think I'm someone, right? And everyone is someone, whether they have money, whether they're famous, whatever the fuck, because I can assure you there's a lot of people who are rich and famous and they're nobody to themselves. They're absolutely nobody. Some people are just like curated, some people are just puppet on the streets, some people don't know themselves. Some people, all they have is what they have, their titles, right? Oh, I'm famous. Oh, I have this. Oh, these are my numbers. Like, that's all it is that they are, right? And then you can have broke people who are fucking geniuses, highly intelligent, have rich frequencies, but aren't rich, like. But what I want you guys to understand is this, man. It's like, if you guys stay true to what it is, like to yourself and stuff like that, and like you apply yourself to the stock market, you're gonna see this is one of the greatest things to apply yourself to. Because, like, imagine this, man. Imagine, like, you're the most genius person in the world, but you choose to just do normal things, just live a normal life, but you feel genius. So obviously, normal things don't feel normal. If someone's a certain person and they do normal things, they're either going to feel fucking amazing, or they're not going to like it at all, or at some point they can't do the normal things. Like I used to do certain normal things, but I can't do certain normal things now because I'm having a big issue with like chemical sense, and I can choose to be that lower version of myself where I can live that way and be affected by that and feel miserable and get sick and get headaches, but at some point I can't do it consistently. But even if I chose that, why the fuck would I want to? For what? To live some normal shitty fucking life? Like I could just move intentionally and keep myself away from that. But like the point I'm making is it's like I just think that like if someone's brilliant, if someone's leveling up, what better thing to apply themselves than to the stock market? You know? You have the ability to make money wherever you are in the world. You don't have to talk to anyone, right? So it's like a direct reflection of who you are. If I if I make the wrong decisions in my life, the market is going to show me, look at your trades. You're making the wrong decision with your trades. Trading is life. If you're a shitty fucking person, you're probably going to make shitty fucking trades. I don't think trading is as simple as, you know, I'm doing horrible things. I'm not doing anything. I'm doing horrible things within my life that are bringing me down, right? But when I trade, I'm trading amazing. I think, what goes around comes around, and like one thing sheds into another, right? If someone's operating very poor level and poor habits, I'd like to think that the market's going to reflect that to them. Obviously, they can be a disciplined trader and still trade well, but they're not going to be nowhere near their potential, even if they are profitable in that situation, just doing stupid fucking shit, but, trying their best to trade as well by doing that stupid fucking shit, you know? But this is what I love about the stock market. It's a very mental dominant game. You know, you have rich people who already made it, they don't give a shit, fucking up all the time. Oh, I can lose all this money. I don't give a fuck. You know, a lot of people a lot of people make it to the top and then they don't give a shit. They're like, oh, I'll just make any fucking trade. I'm rich as fuck. Why does it matter? Like that's the beauty of trading is the more money you make, the easier it gets to make more money. That's the fucking best part about it. So once you make it to the top, it's hard to fall back down. It really is. You know, the more money you make in the market, the easier it is to make money, the easier it is to keep money, right? If you figure out how to consistently grow small accounts, then that's a huge advantage, you know, to restarting or just taking small risk and going with small accounts all the time. But like the market is very dominant, man, because when a lot of people get successful in a skill as like of just looking at shit on the screen that's not even real, you know, that can fuck with people. If someone's very successful in the market, but they don't like who they are as a person, you know, that can really fuck with someone because then they're gonna feel like, oh, all I have is money and I gotta figure out this shit now. Like that's the thing. Like, you know, the stock market is an interesting thing because someone can become very successful financially doing absolutely nothing with their life, you know, just living a normal, simple life, basic, simple habits, quiet, reserved, away from everyone else, not really doing anything with their life. And they can, in times of solitude like that, they can make the most amount of money they've ever made before because they're so fucking locked into the room, not wasting their time, not doing other fucking shit. You know, typically with trading to be the best, you have to be very focused and have no distractions and waste no time and do no stupid shit. Trading rewards mental competence. You know, trading rewards having the ability to see what others don't see, the ability to recognize trends and to capture trends, and you know, the ability to identify opportunity and what opportunity you want to put yourself in and what risk and systems you want to create and make for yourself within that. But the reason why I just love the market so much is because there's nothing else I can apply myself to that's going to give me this big of an ROI, not just financially, but it's very rewarding, you know? Like it's rewarding mentally to know you're accomplishing success within the market. Um it's a very rewarding thing too, and it's a very mental dominant thing to do. I mean, for intelligent people it is very very wise, or just people with high frequencies, right? Don't even have to be the smartest guy in a room, but if you have a high fucking frequency, high vibration, it's a beautiful thing to apply yourself to. It's your money, it's your experience, it's your eyes, it's your mind, it's all yours. Whatever you do with this is all yours. You can trade futures, you can trade options, you can go far out of the money, you can go in the money, you know? Whatever you want to paint with your brush, it's your empty canvas to do so, you know? If you're operating high and you're looking at the market and you're saying, dude, the market, I know it's capable of meeting me with where I'm at, but right now the price action is shit. And this isn't reflecting the shit that I'm on, or maybe sometimes it is because you're on that, like, you know, not having the best of days or whatever. Um, and in those situations, you could just sit out. Part of being the best trader is knowing when to sit out, is knowing what trades you're comfortable with taking, is knowing what risk you're willing to take to get those rewards, is knowing, you know, what potion you want to create yourself. Do you just want to trade the best setups at those prices, or do you want to make a quick laser scalp? You know, if your plan is to turn thousands into millions, how do you plan to get there? Are you going to trade SPY only, or are you going to trade stocks? What asset class are you going to trade? What setups are you going to trade? Right? And then as you're trading, what are you going to cut out? The worst thing you can do is lose money. So as you have losses, but you're still profitable in a situation, how are you going to remove those losses, right? For me, just trading SPY has removed any losing. When I trade stocks, more losses, right? If I don't want any losses, SPY, 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 zero date options, zero date options, zero date options. That's what works best for me, right? When you guys have losing trades, you got to analyze that because the worst thing you do in trading is lose money. It's better to make a small amount of money than to lose money. The worst things you can do in trading is lose money and go green to red. Those are the biggest worst things you can do in trading, right? Um, you know, obviously people have strategies where their strategy is to lose money to make more money and they don't have high win rates. That's great if that works for them. But at the end of the day, it's like, dude, losing money is literally one of the worst ways. But you have to have a system that gives you clarity on that too. But losing money just fucking sucks in general. You can have a system where you never lose money, but you make less money than someone who loses money but makes more money by losing money. You know? Some people might just want the system where they never lose money, right? You can have 7 losses in a row, but if you're on a system where the 3 wins are going to be 500 to 1,000%, then some people say, win rate doesn't matter, losing money doesn't matter. Obviously, they account for that, but it doesn't matter, and they're right. But some people don't want that system. Some people want a system where no, fuck that, I'm never losing money. I'll take smaller gains, I'll size in bigger, or I'll just let the consistency and the compounding account do the work. Everyone's different, man. But if you have something that works, you already have something that works. It's just some people don't want something that works that loses them money to get to more money. Some people don't want that. Some people are like, dude, I just want to time my shit right. I want to win all the fucking time. Fucking hell. I don't want to lose. Even if losing money makes them more money than the other way. That's just how some people are. People optimize for what they want, right? But at the end of the day, if you have something that works and you compound it and you're consistent with it, and boom, you have that. But guys, I'm telling you, it's like, I look at my life financially, there's nothing like this is it. Like the stock market, and then I have the business, but the business isn't meeting me where I'm at in terms of the fucking shit we're making in the market. But like it is a recurring business and it is growing, but there's just no fucking comparison with the amount of money you can make in a single day on the stock market with options. You can have a single day with options and ES combined. You can make over 6 figures in a single fucking day, not even taking massive risk. If you're taking bigger risks, you can run up hundreds of thousands to $1 million a day. But there's just nothing like this, guys. But that's the point that I wanted to make. The reason why I'm so locked into trading, I'm taking it so seriously, is because I've become like a very high version of myself, and I've tried to apply it to many things. And I'm seeing that there's just whatever I do, right? It could make me feel good. I could feel better. I could feel great, but it's not creating a fuck ton of wealth, And I know some people, they don't just want to create wealth and stuff like that. But the point I'm making is, it's like, for someone to be a certain person and to just go off and do whatever they want and have fun and to not like be operating of like their peak potential skill set, it's like, dude, there's just no higher ROI for me right now. There's no greater ROI than applying myself into the stock market. Like that's what I'm saying. I can go in, I can go to a restaurant or whatever. I'll be seen. People won't know me. They'll look at me. Some people will walk up fucking to me and be like, "Hey, who are you?" Or like, fucking manager will come up to me. They'll be like, they'll just try to read me to figure out what the fuck is this guy doing here? Like, who the fuck is this guy or whatever the fuck? Like, like that's cool and great and all, but imagine instead of doing shit like that, I just kept focusing on the stock market. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I can go, there's other things that I can do with my life, and like it'll feel great and I'll stand out, right? But when it comes to money, there's nothing like the stock market, dude. I can go into a room and like I'll go into the room and I'll be like, dude, these motherfuckers ain't on the shit I'm on. Like, I'll stand out, and I'll feel like very like high and shit. Like I'll fucking stand out and shit. I'll be like, well, damn, where are the motherfuckers who like me operating at my fucking shit? Where the fuck they at? Where are all the interesting high level motherfuckers? Where the fuck they at? Right? But it's like the stock market, it's a direct reflection of me, and it's money. That's the genius in this. If someone wants to make money, why not apply yourselves to something that reflects your money back to you? Oh, you're losing money? Well, you're shit. Get fucking better. People are green every single day. There's people making hundreds of thousands of dollars to millions a day within the market. You're fucking red. Well, look at the times when you were green. What the fuck are you doing wrong? Like, there's there's nothing in this. I'm finding extreme. I probably only found one person who literally reflected me to a T. But like, dude, for something in this life to reflect me to an exact fucking T, and to do that financially, that shit is like, what the fuck is going to do that for me? What is going to instantly financially reward me, right? Like that. What's going to do it like for me? It's like, dude, I have a business. I could post a video. Sometimes it gets a couple sales, sometimes it gets a ton of sales. No matter how many sales the video gets, it doesn't reflect the shit that I'm on. I take one trade, boom, instantly. Here's 10 fucking K. Minutes. It reflects me at the speed of fucking light. So it's like, this is the thing. It's like you could walk around in life as like a diamond, but there's so many fucking rocks around unless you're surrounded by the diamonds, and usually all the diamonds are fucking secluded, not around any of the fucking rocks. You know? And like, dude, I became a fucking diamond by being in fucking pits of fucking fire, not around like fucking like all these like super smart, wealthy fucking people. I mean, literally the one wealthy person who actually like helped me level the fuck up, you know, but me being who I am and choosing to do that, I was able to level up. But fucking G Roar has like helped my trading fucking tremendously in terms of, you know, the system he has with holding his trades. But in terms of setting profit stops, like setting profit stops, moving the profit stop up higher, not using stop losses, or if you just want to cut it. Like there's just been certain small things with the system that he has from the mechanics that have helped me with my system, right? Being exposed to that instead of trying to think every little thing by myself or figure out every little thing on my own. You know, certain people come into people's lives for reasons, to show them things, to teach them things, to show them, look, there's something different, there's something new. Here's some gems. You do what you want with this, apply it to your shit. Or if you don't like it, then don't use these gems. Take the good, and then, you know, you can leave the other shit. Like, it's just like, I'm just so fascinated with the market because I really do realize, like, there's just from a financial perspective, what better, what more competitive, what more like to really go to war with myself, right? Like with finances and to level up with finances. Like what better thing? Like if someone's a fucking genius and they want to make money, what better thing than the stock market? And then, you know, being in a business, like, you know, mastermind behind a business, right? It could be related to the stock market or just other businesses. What better things to be doing to financially like level the fuck up than starting businesses in the fucking stock market, you know? The downside about a business is you typically got to hire people, you got to deal with people, you know, and all this shit. Business is like more chaotic and fucking, oh, people. The biggest upside about trading is it's like one of the only businesses in the world where you don't have to deal with any fucking one. And if you're the best and it's you versus you, why? Why deal with anyone in the first place? That's what I'm saying. It's like going to war with yourself and your finances. It's like taking full responsibility of everything. It's like, dude, put it this way. If you're walking around with $1 million fucking frequency, and everywhere you go, you're looking around, you're saying, like, dude, nothing matches my energy. Nothing matches my frequency. Whatever room I go into, I take over the fucking room. Whoever I hang around with, it's like I'm seeing, like, dude, I see things about this person they don't even see about themselves. Like, I'm seeing things that they don't even fucking see. I'm thinking about things they don't think about. Like, it's like there's levels to this shit, and like I know, like the shit I'm on, like the frequencies and all that, like a lot of people don't got it like that. And a lot of people who do have it like that, they have it like that for a reason. They're usually not, you know, doing random shit, spending a lot of time with you know, like they're usually very selective with where they go, what they do once they really like stabilize into it and it's their baseline and it's normal for them. It's hard to find people like that in normal places. It really is. It's like finding a fucking needle in a fucking haystack. And guys, I'm telling you, there's reasons for that. I can't even do certain things with who I've become. I used to just be able to walk around with the highest version of myself and do whatever the fuck I want to do. You know, I stayed in hotels and I stayed in hotels traveling for 6 fucking months. That fucking shit exposed me to a different lifestyle and to too many fucking chemicals, too many fucking headaches. It exposed me to too much, and now it's like it leveled me up in a bunch of ways, but now it's like there's certain things I have to watch for. Like now it's like all of a sudden, you know, if a hotel smelled fucking bad with chemicals, I could still sleep in it, but it would bother me. Now I can't even fucking sleep in it. You know, it's like I got being consistently exposed to certain things did something to me. Like it affected like my sinuses, my free it affected like, you know, sinuses, my health. It affected a lot to me where I can't even be around it anymore. Like that's another thing. Like I know what it's like to be at a 10 mentally. And if one little thing comes into my life and takes me down to a 5, dude, I'm not trying to figure out how to get that back to, I'm not trying to figure out, oh, how can I be around this thing and get back to a 10 being around it and hold that version of myself around it? Like, no, fuck that. If something's fucking bringing me that fucking low, like, I am fucking out of there. Like, that, like, it's cutting ties. Like, dude, people I used to hang around with, I can't hang around with anymore. Places I used to go to, I can't go there anymore. Now when I travel, I have to be like super fucking intentional. I have to make sure like if I'm gonna stay somewhere, no Febreze, no chemicals, and I'm like good fucking luck. You know, so everywhere you go nowadays in this fucking America or just in general, it's just too much. Too much chemicals, too much scents, too much people, too much bullshit. It's like I have to be so selective and intentional where I go, how am I gonna get there, where am I gonna stay, am I gonna hang out with someone, who am I gonna hang out with? Like this is fucking like this is like shit like this. Like one way to look at it is like a wealthy person being like sheltered into a private life. Like that's literally the type of shit. It's like, but dude, like I don't even have a fucking choice. Like I'm speaking from like a health standpoint. I can go from a 10 to a 4 and stay at a 4, but it's something I don't want to do. But if I stay there too long, I can't be at a 4 anyway, anyways. You know, like I can go to a hotel, and if it smells like that, I can sit in the hotel for a little bit, and it's gonna bring me down, and I'm gonna feel horrible. And then at some point, if I stay too long, I can't even stay there anymore. So it's like, why the fuck be there in the first place? If it's just gonna bring me down, then I'm gonna be forced to leave. You see what I'm saying? Like that shit is going on in my life in so many different areas. And some people would say, like, oh, that sucks, or that's negative, or oh, it must suck to have that. And obviously, a lot of people, they're gonna have no fucking idea of what the fuck I'm talking about. Like, dude, the wild thing is, I've had people say the same shit to me before this happened to me, you know? And I just listened to them. Like I just heard them out. You know, like you don't have to understand everything it is that they're saying, but it is important to take people seriously and like to understand of like what it is that they're experiencing and stuff like that because people are different. Like certain people, you know, certain people are not like other people. Some people see things that other people don't see. Some people think about things other people don't think about. Some people feel things that most people don't feel. Um, some people are very sensitive to certain things, but some people from a health standpoint, like guys, I'm telling you from a health standpoint, for who have I become, one of the worst things is chemicals and scents and fragrances. Like, dude, like when I put on deodorant, I'm sitting here like I need unscented shit. I don't want to smell a scent. Like I've never it bothers me, but not even though it just bothers me, I don't see the ROI. What is the return on my life of smelling a certain way? Why would I want to be aware of smelling like some weird fucking scent on me? Then I'm gonna start paying attention to that, and then it might start bothering me, but it's not just like that. That's just if it was normal for me. Like it's not fucking like I can't have it on me. Like everything I use, it's unscented. Like people around me, all people around me, they'll be like, dude, they'll say you smell so good, and they'll like, "How- you smell so good." I'm like, I don't wear scented deodorant. I don't wear scented detergent. I don't wear fucking scented body wash. Everything I am is unscented, and I'm able to smell so good because it's is like natural scent, right? Um, you know, obviously unscented things prevent people from like smelling bad, but like it's unscented. It's like a natural type of scent, right? That's why I smell so fucking good because it's natural fucking scent. Um, but yeah, man, it's like this shit is just wild because people go to all these places. Like, dude, I can't go to like anything with lobbies, elevators, hotels. Oh my God, I stay away from this. But now it's just like as simple as if I take a walk somewhere and someone smells a certain way, it will shift my fucking energy. Like, dude, I'm going from I went from shifting rooms and having a fucking ball to now like if I go by certain people, all of my shit is fucking shifting, and I'm sitting here saying, dude, I just don't want to be in this situation. I used to just go into rooms and shift the whole fucking place. Now, in certain situations, this whole shit shifts me, you know? And some be like, oh, well, you got to figure out how to hold the highest version of yourself in those situations. I'm like, dude, I don't want to be touched by those situations. Um, I just know for me, the biggest thing has just been the scent shit, man. This whole chemical, fragrance, and scent shit, man. And the crazy thing is, like, this shit is even in our clothes. And you guys could research all of this of like the negative effects long term of like being exposed to constant exposure of chemicals. And then once it really starts to bother you, like there's levels to this and sensitivities to this. Like, dude, I'm telling you, like, I, when I'm at a 10 mentally, there's small things that can come into my life and they can really bring me down to a 5. Like I've figured out how to get to a 10 very quickly, but if I get hit, that shit hurts and it could last for a couple hours. It could bring me down like for a couple hours a day. That's why like I'm trying to avoid these situations and move very intentionally. Obviously, it's like making it to where like I can't just be a normal person and do just go anywhere and shit like that. It's just more of like a private life. But I'm looking at this and I'm saying, I don't want to live the other way like that anymore. It's not getting me to where I want to go. So I almost feel like in a strange way, I feel like experiencing what it is that I'm experiencing is actually getting me to where I'm supposed to go. And I look at a lot of wealthy people, they don't hang around random people. They have mansions away from everyone else. Um, they're secluded and surrounded by nature. Even a lot of wealthy traders have been going to Puerto Rico for tax advantages and, just the nature over there, the peace, the solitude. I mean, the key to trading, guys, is to be secluded. If you want to become the best at trading, lock yourself in a room, stay healthy, have normal, healthy habits. You could pick up a sport, you can walk, you can jog, you can run, just normal things that don't cost a ton of money. It's like, the key to amazing trading is not to spend a bunch of money on like all just live a normal life, but be smart about it. Some people try to live normal lives, but they're around toxic people, toxic environments, chemicals, and smells and shit. And all of a sudden, their life is no longer fucking normal, or they're operating at a low level. It's like I know how to get, I know how to get to a high frequency quickly, and I know how to like lower it quickly. That's why the smallest of things, when it shifts me like that, I'm like, dude, fuck this. I don't want to be touched by this shit. Like I'm fucking done. Like just the other day, like um, you know, just going, just literally getting like a simple fucking coffee and just stopping to use the restroom. I stopped to use the restroom. There's this fucking air freshener shit is everywhere. That shit, just being there for a fucking minute, right? Oh my gosh, that shit brought my shit down for like hours. I didn't feel good. And now I'm sitting here like, I'm like, dude, I have to be so fucking intentional with every little thing I do. Obviously I can deal with that in like obviously I can deal with that and I could be like, you know what? It is what it is. If it brings me lower, it brings me lower. I'll figure out how to recover quickly, right? But I'm like, fuck that. I'm so done with going lower. Anything that's bringing me fucking lower, I'm removing access from. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, and if I don't remove access from it, usually God will like remove it from me in the first place. It's like, dude, like I can't live how I used to live anymore. It's like, but I feel like it's setting me up for my normal way of living. That's another thing. Like, people need to understand their normal way of living, you know? Because some people are trying to live normal lives and it's actually crazy to the life that they're supposed to be living. So I like it in a sense of like, I feel like it's leading me in the right direction. But with certain things in life, I think with some negatives also come some positives, certain gifts in life and stuff like that. Like if someone's highly sensitive, I would like to think that there's a lot of advantages to like, feeling things that other people don't feel, to feeling things that deeply, to seeing things that deeply. It's just, it becomes a little bit interesting when all the people you're around couldn't say the same. That's where life is like a little like, like, it's just very, for someone who has certain gifts, and when you're around other people who don't have these gifts, that's when life gets a little interesting, like it's hard to find people like this. But I do think people, I think everyone has their gifts and can unlock them and stuff like that. But man, I just think the way America is set up, I think America, like, if someone's in a fucked up place, I think it could, like, in somehow, some way, if they're burning through that fire, through the light, like, through that darkness, and they get to the light, like, I think it could, like, expose them to the gifts, and they could start to become that and discover it through all that chaos. But, like, to keep it and to hold it there, at some point, they gotta, like, remove access and let that shit go. Like, dude, I literally, like, I figured myself by, like, one of the ways I figured myself out was choosing to do the right thing when I could have done the absolute worst things to people. Like when I could have seeked revenge, like when people have done me wrong, or when people have shown me something about myself, like when I noticed something rare or interesting was going on in my life, I never took that out on another person. I looked at this, I was like, oh wow, this is interesting. What can I do with this? Like, oh wow, this person's doing something or showing me something that I've never seen before, or no, like not even myself or something, or like not even like another person. Like, oh, this is rare, this is interesting. even if it was like negative. Like I don't like try to take that out on people or be negative towards that. I look at it as like it could be like a learning experience. Like, well, wow, how is this aligned with me? What is the purposes? What can I get like out of this particular situation? How could I level up from this experience? Like, how can I become better? And then the other person can level up with me, but then they usually don't come with me because it's like, dude, the places I'm fucking going, most people want nothing to do with where I'm fucking going because the places are just so fucking high that some people don't have the capacity, or some people they want it, but then they realize quickly it's not for them. Everyone can have goals and everyone can want things, but they realize it's not for them, dude. Like I can't even do like basically the way how people are living every single day. I can't even live that way to a degree of certain things, but it's all benefiting me and all in my favor. So like it is what it is, man. But obviously there's some disadvantages and some annoyances to it. But basically, with the shit that I'm experiencing and like, being secluded and isolated and stuff like it's all pointing me back to just focus on the stock market. That's literally, I feel like that's what I'm being guided towards. It's just to keep on consistently compounding my account and to focus on the stock market. Because, like I said, man, you can walk around with like a $1 trillion frequency. So then the question becomes, what do you do with that? Do you want to, like, some people, they just LARP around. Some people just LARP with a high frequency, and that's what they fucking do. Some people just travel. Some people just have fun. Some people play sports. Like, some people just do normal things, and they're just like so amazed by it because they're like, oh, wow, I remember what it was like to do these normal things when I didn't have this. Now I have this, and these normal things feel fucking amazing, and that's great. But like, if someone is such a certain rare person, you know, they could live a normal life, or they can live a normal life while applying themselves to the stock market. See, like that's what I'm saying, man. Like that's what really clicked it for me because like, you know, I've done a lot of shit. I've been around a lot of people. I look at the ROIs and I look at like when I'm leveling up, are these people matching me? Are they coming up with me? And it's like, dude, everything just points back to like being alone, just being with myself. And that's what the stock market is. Like every time I level up, like I used to have fun and just like go out and do fun things and just be amazed of like how I felt and what I was experiencing and some of the people I met and some of the things I learned along the way. It's just so amazing. But like, this is what I'm saying. Like, dude, if someone goes to a restaurant and everyone's wondering who the fuck is this guy and everyone's filling the room out and people are asking questions and like I'm not even famous or whatever the fuck, but I'm carrying like famous frequencies and I'm carrying like fucking royalty. I could be carrying like royalty fucking energy. I could be carrying like very rich frequency and stuff like that. It's like the question is, how does that person choose to live their life? And at some point, I think certain things can happen to that person where it's like they're guided towards the life that they should be living, and the life that they shouldn't be living, even if it's just like normal basic things, they can't even live that way anymore. That's literally like how my life is like turning out to be. Like there's certain normal things that a normal kid or a normal person could just go and do. Like, I can't do that anymore. If I do it, it brings me too low. If I go too low, I'm forced out of it. It's just a too big. It's just if something's consistently bringing me down, I could tolerate it and try to rise up from that. But at some point, it's like I'm forced out of it. Like, there's nothing to rise above. It's just fighting lower and lower and lower. And then I'm just pushed the fuck out of it. It's like, to give an example, like if a hotel has a signature scent, I could sit in it for a couple minutes and it's gonna make me feel like shit and it's gonna lower me and it's gonna throw me off and that could last for hours. So I could tolerate it for a little bit, but if I try to sleep there, I'm not gonna be able to sleep and then I'm gonna have to get the fuck out of the hotel and go somewhere else. So it's like everything is just getting to the point in my life where if something's throwing me off, the solution, one of the solutions has been to just remove access from it. So basically, like a lot of things that happen like in my life, like I'm being removed access from like a lot of like normal ways of life, but they're not benefiting me or serving me in any way. So it's more of like creating a private life, more structure, more organization, more knowing where to go, what to do, more intentional rather than just random fucking shit or spontaneous shit. Um, Very selective what I do with my time, where I go, who I see, where I walk, where I eat, just very selective with every fucking thing. Like, dude, I'm talking about shit. Like, if I sit at a fucking table and this shit smells, I'm not sitting at that fucking table. Just by me sitting in the fucking chair has been too long. Like, it's some different shit. Um, and man, like this shit is just like what? So like, I'm just looking at. So I look back to my life where I could just like do whatever the fuck I want and just have fun with these frequencies and intelligence, but like I was learning and leveling up, but like financially and other things in my life, they weren't going up with me. It was just me going up. And then there was like a certain ceiling. It's like, well, where the fuck am I going now? Like nobody's coming with me. It happened so many times where I would rise up in my life and then everyone around me, they weren't coming with me. Most people just like betrayed me, backstabbed me, or they just let me go. They wanted like nothing to do with me. It's like, dude, if someone looks into someone's eyes and they see them their fucking future and they see where this person is going, their light is that fucking bright. Some people are gonna be like, dude, I have nothing to do with this fucking person. With where they're fucking going, there's nothing fucking here. And some people like instantly cut shit off. Like if someone's going to very high places and that person knows like they're not fucking going there, usually a lot of times shit don't last. It depends on the situation. Um, some people don't even have the some people don't have the capacity to get it. Not everyone's going where like I'm fucking going. Not everyone's going where you're fucking going. Everyone has different fucking paths. So like, you know, I've 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 been on high frequency shit and I've just lived a normal life. I grew a lot, which is amazing, but like that didn't lead to like a fuck ton of money and shit like that. Like a lot of it was just wasting time overdoing shit. So now it's almost as if I'm being like forced into a life that's like meant for me and I can't do certain normal things that I used to do. And I'm looking at like from just from a health standpoint of like how I should be living with what's going on. And basically everything is now pointing to just focus on wealth, focus on money, focus on myself, and just keep on leveling up. But see, this is the thing. If someone wants to endlessly level up with no ceiling, no cap, it's not in a job. To an extent, it's not around a lot of people. Most people, even people who help you level up, you'll outgrow them or you'll lose them, or they might betray you. Like that's the thing. Like not everyone is meant to where you're fucking going. At some point it comes down to a business. Like they operate a certain part in your life or in your business and that's that. But like you're on your own shit doing your own thing, right? But like basically, I love the stock market because there's no ceiling to this game. If you outgrow a certain asset class that you can't scale anymore, you can learn a different asset class. You know, if you can't trade 10,000 fucking contracts in one trade and you outgrow it, well, you can look into futures too. And you can buy shares too. You can do all fucking three if you want to make unlimited fucking money. Like, the reason why I love this game is no matter how high I go, I can decide for the market to meet me there. If the market's shit and I'm at all time highs, I can sit here and go, the market is shit. I'm at all time highs. So I'm not going to trade. I'm going to observe. I'm going to wait until it meets me to the point where it shows me the $1 trillion trade. Basically, you could be a diamond and just do things that rocks do and live around rocks, right? You could have a $1 trillion frequency and not be a trillionaire, right? But life changes. Things come, things go, but also life changes. At some point, people might get directed to doing the things that they're supposed to do. Like they grew, they had their fun. Now it's time to do this and to adapt instead of looking at things as negatives. I look at them as positive. If I'm experiencing certain negatives with my life that I can't do certain things that I used to do, I can't go to certain places I used to go to because of sense, chemicals, and just random people being there, right? With all this too much energy, too much sense, it's too much of a downside for me, too much waste of time. Well, then I look at that as, oh, well, it's time to go live a more private life. Oh, it's time to be more selective with where I go, right? Oh, maybe start a team or start like a more private group or like, now I got to be very selective, very intentional with where I go, right? Like I don't look at this as a downside, but the bizarre thing for me is like the cool thing about me is like I can go to nightclubs, I have no problems. It's fucking crazy. I can go to a normal restaurant, problems. I could walk by someone on a sidewalk, problems. You know, I go to a hotel, problems. Go to a nightclub, have a fucking ball, no problems. Like shit is fucking insane. It's just wild how that works. Like certain things are just so insane, but like, you know, I just love this stock market because it really gives me the realization of like, you know, if I truly want to be the best and go to the highest of places, why not go to war with myself and put all of that energy, all of that skill set, all of that frequency into the fucking stock market? Like, seriously, what else am I going to do with that? I'm gonna go into a room and people are gonna be like, whoa, this guy stands out. Oh, this guy's fucking aura. Oh, let me talk to this guy. Oh, who is this guy? Like, dude, what the fuck am I gonna gain from that? I could sit in a room and trade stocks all fucking day and run this shit up to fucking like that. Like, the best part about this crap is there's no ceiling. You know, the market's a tool, the market's predictable, the market's lucrative. You can sit here and decide what you trade, what you put yourself in. You know, if you're a diamond, you could sit here and say, you know, I'm a diamond. Am I gonna trade some rocks today and try to make money? Or am I going to wait for the diamond trade to come up? You know, like I used to spend a lot of time around rocks, you know, I learned a lot. I had great fucking times, right? Um, but things that are happening in my life where I can't even be around a lot of situations like that anymore, even if I wanted to, right? But it's like I've had enough time with that and I've leveled up with like I've outgrown so much shit too. Like, it's like everything I'm losing access to, I'm looking at this like I'm better off without it if I want to become the best trader. But it just seems like with where I'm being guided in life and where I'm going, it seems like most of it's for the best. Is it annoying? Like, yeah, it is annoying. Like now if I want to travel somewhere, I have to be very selective with where I go. I might even have to cancel with where I go. You know, if I go somewhere and it's not right, if I can't sleep there, then I might have to cancel that. Then I gotta find another spot and I gotta think about this all ahead. Like this shit's annoying, right? But you know, this is all coming to if I have this frequency, you know, if I'm super smart, instead of just applying myself to normal fucking shit and just having fun, like it's like that shit, like I'm just gonna go all in on the stock market, right? So like there's just things that have there's obviously like, you know, things health wise that have changed my life with this chemical shit and the smell shit and the person who I become. And you know, I look at it, I'm perceiving it the right way. I look at it as I'm being divinely guided to do something different and to not live that way of how most people live and even how most people live. I don't look at that as normal. I think how the way how most people live is not a normal life. I don't think it's normal at all. It seems like the normal way nowadays is to get wealthy and to go private and to be selective and to be intentional with where you go. There's just so much bullshit out there and so many people are fucked up. You know, whether rich or poor, they're fucked up. There's a lot of poor people who are a lot fucking smarter than rich people. There's a lot of rich people who were smart and then they get all fucked up. Like money is a fucking thing, man. Money fucks a lot of people up. It does. Some people are born into wealth and they stay fucked up for fucking ever because they were born in fucking to it. I mean, one of the best things for me was not being born into fucking wealth and being thrown into fucking fires. It helped like, you know, it helped some people get made in a way where it's like they're more sheltered into something and they become it that way. Other people are just thrown into a pit of fucking hell and they figure out it that way. It's like, dude, I wasn't the whole sheltered way. Like I broke out of my shit and I was thrown into pits of fucking fire and I blazed through that shit and I got to the fucking light. Wherever there was dark, I became the fucking light. And man, what that does to people around you, the stories I have to tell about that are fucking insane. That's a whole nother story. But like basically I'm being like guided to live a very private, selective life, and this is how wealthy people live. And I like never really lived like this, but now it's like I don't even have a choice. This is fucking like, dude, I go to five-star hotels. This shit will cost over 1,000 a night. This shit will have a scent that will fucking freak me the fuck out. I'll be like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Like this shit is insane, man. Like I've stayed in penthouses, best penthouse. I couldn't stay there. I had to get the fuck out of the penthouse, go to a normal fucking hotel, and then I promised the normal hotel. Like this shit is all bizarre, man. So basically, what I'm saying is like I'm at a point in my life where I need control. I need like control in my environment. I need control in my life. I need control in my go. I can't have random bullshit around me, random people around me smelling God knows what, spraying God knows what. Like, dude, if some motherfucker came into my house and sprayed like fucking Febreze, oh my goodness, that like temporarily wouldn't be my house anymore until that shit got like fixed. Like, I would be fucking gone. Like, this shit is fucking insane, man. Like, just to like of just like, and everyone has their things. That's what I'm saying. Like everyone has their own things. With some shit like this, I like to think that certain good comes out of it too. So like one of the good things that I'm taking from it is, oh, well, this is leading me to the life that I should be living. Maybe I shouldn't be living this whole like, oh, let's just go out, have fun, do this, do that. Like, no, let's like be more private, be more wealthy, lock the fuck in, be away from everyone else, not go to random fucking places and not stay at random fucking hotel. Like it's leading me into a direction of wealth. And I've realized like to be the best trader, I think the best traders are the ones who can lock themselves in a room. I don't think it really gets more dangerous than that. If you can lock yourself in a room, no distractions, no bullshit. It's like, dude, people want to know the secret to trading. It's like be healthy, fucking get your frequency up, don't do stupid fucking shit, and lock the fuck in a room. For those of you who are moving around and trading, oh, trading while fucking driving. Oh, I'm gonna go to a store, make a trade. I used to think that was cool. I would go out, take a walk, and I'll be like, you know what? As I make this walk, by the time I pass this person, I'm gonna make $1,000 fucking. I used to think that was like so cool and so hot shit. Now I look at that as like, oh wow, that was something to experience, but to consistently do, that's like very low frequency behavior. Like the shit is like the highest frequency traders, they lock themselves in a room and they have peace. They have calm. They're not angry. They're not fucking, a lot of them they look for nature or they just live away from everyone else. That's what it is. They live in an environment that supports them, that's healthy for them, that's good for their nervous system, that supports what they're trying to be and what they're trying to accomplish, right? They don't have distractions, they don't have friction, they don't have notifications, they don't have random fucking people showing up, they don't have random fucking energy coming up. They live pretty normal in a rich private way. But part of that, they don't go to random places and they don't go doing random spontaneous fucking shit unless it's like away from people. Like that, like, man, if I go to some random thing away from people in nature or some shit, or if I go to a nightclub for whatever reason, oh, it's fine. No fucking problems. But man, it's like, dude, I can't even like go to certain places and take a simple walk without having a problem. This shit is like crazy. Like another thing is like there's certain environments that are like low frequency, low vibrational. Like I'm talking about type of shit where if I walked in a certain environment, dude, people would not be able to like be quiet around me. They would have some sort of reaction. They would say some fucking thing, like something good or something bad. They would just say something like they wouldn't be able to hold themselves. They would have to say something. Like if people just saw the way I was moving, my fucking aura, or whatever the fuck, like if they just saw me in this certain environment, I would just stand out too fucking much where like they would either make some sort of eye contact or they would try to talk to me or they would just say some shit. Like they would have some sort of reaction. Like I've just found even in low vibration environments, I can't even be there. I just can't be like I've outgrown it so much. I can't be there. Even if it doesn't bother me from like a health standpoint, even that can like lower my frequency. But like there's just certain low vibration environments that even have like a worse or like a more worse impact on me. Like that's another thing. Like I went to certain like nice luxury places and walked around outside, no problems with people like smelling a certain way, but still like slight problems. But if I go to like a lower vibrational place and walk around, oh, there's like big fucking problems with smells and fucking scents. So like basically like I'm trying my best to be away from anything that's just like low vibrational and just trying to keep things like, simple, natural, like nature, stuff like that, and just secluded away from people and shit like that. But like also just like being around like nice luxury places, but just more intentional and careful with where I go and just not do that stuff consistently. But man, fucking nightclubs, I could have a ball, no fucking problem, man. But this shit is crazy, dude. Like I'm literally talking about like walking outside, just walking past a person, my whole energy can shift and I'll feel lower mentally and just the way they smell or whatever the fuck, like this shit is just a horrible fucking feeling. Like it takes time and it's not easy to get to a 10. But if something in my life shows up like that and just brings me to a 5, and then I'm left with how do I get back to a 10? Could take hours, could take the next day. It's just my whole mood and energy. plus I have to trade, I have to make videos, you guys can start to see of like, damn, like I have to move fucking different. So like I like to think that, you know, it's forcing me to live a better lifestyle. Obviously, it's not how I normally used to live, but I would say it's forcing me to live how a wealthy private person would live. So it's almost to look at as like, I used to have fun with my frequencies, just doing whatever the fuck I wanted to do. Now, I guess I would say it's like if I have a certain frequency, I have to like become that to the highest degree. Like, if I have a royal frequency, I have to be fucking royalty. I can't just be royalty, but going in a room where nothing royal is there, or if it's just low fucking vibrational. I can't go to a place where it doesn't make sense for me to be. I can't just walk around. Like, this shit is getting interesting, man. So everything is just pointing to going all in on the stock market, tuning out every fucking thing, leveling up to the just keep on leveling up, no fucking ceiling, and just living a private, wealthier life where I'm just not really seen as much, not going basically anywhere I go is just like would be very private, away from people, um, and just very intentional and like planned and just living away from everyone. You know, that's just how my life has ended up to be now, and this shit is insane, man. Like that's another thing. There's people they live in Puerto Rico, you know, it's good for them because it's like secluded. They could just focus on them on their work if they can work from home and they save a bunch of money on taxes. That's one of the reasons why a lot of traders move to Puerto Rico is because to be good at trading, nature is very helpful. Not being around people is very helpful because guys, trading it's a one-on-one thing. That's what this shit is, man. It's you versus you. So being around people, trading in a room around people, being around other people's energy, other people's sense, it doesn't benefit your trading at all. I think if someone put me in a room with a bunch of traders versus me trading alone, I think I would do a lot better trading alone. It goes back to like when I was in school, I would take a test. I wasn't able to like focus as well taking the test around the students. So, they sent me to the library away from all the students and I would perform better on the test, right? That's how some people are, you know? Part of life is figuring out who you are and it's understanding that not everyone is who you are. And people have to accept that. And not everyone is going to accept you for who you are, and not everyone is meant to stay in your life. Some people were meant to show you something that you needed to see, and you might not have liked the way that they shown it to you or how that felt, but certain people are catalysts. They come and go, they show you something, and that's it, right? And not everyone handles that the best way, but like, life is just very interesting once you start figuring out who you are, and someone could figure out who they are, but you know, if someone has a royalty frequency and they're not doing royal shit with their life, at some point something might happen where they're forced to be that, or they're just gonna feel very low about themselves. And like one of the things that I'm thinking with my life is like all this chemical shit that has been affecting me, I like to think that like obviously like yeah it does kind of suck that like I'm affected by that in certain ways, but like I would like to think that it's like forcing me or just like making me more intentional of like the life I should actually be living. If someone is a certain person, why just fuck around, have fun, live normal? Like, why not use that? Some people have gifts, they don't use their gifts, and they just live like how everyone else lives, right? Why? If someone has gifts, so it's like I have these gifts, and now something came up with this health shit and this chemical shit, and like I'm looking at it as a way where it's like forcing me, but it's like forcing me, it's like leading me to a way of how I'm supposed to live my life. Like I think the more money I make, the better it's gonna be with my life, with some of the problems like with some of the things that I've experienced. Like if I'm affected by chemicals, well, more fucking money. I can be very intentional with where I go, who I'm talking to. I can be very more private, very more strategic. Um, there's solutions for that. But obviously there's also things that come with that. I can't just randomly go to certain things with a bunch of people or certain things. Like if something's off, I'm fucking out. Like, dude, I can't even like one of the biggest things, like I can't sit at a restaurant, dude. I can't go to a restaurant and sit down. If I go to a restaurant and sit down, if they wipe that shit down, or if they wipe someone else's shit down, and I start sensing that and breathing that in, like, dude, it's a negative reaction. And that's where it comes to of like, I don't need to go to a restaurant. I can cook from home or have someone else bring food to me or have a chef cook from home. Plus, that saves me money. That saves me time. That's a better life. Obviously, it's nice to go out to a restaurant once in a while, but it's like now I have to be very strategic on where I go. Some restaurants don't do that. Some places in the world are very health conscious, to people who have problems with chemicals. Some people have side effects to chemicals. They get headaches, they have very negative reactions. And I'm telling you guys, like, when you know what it's like to be a 10 all day and crush the market, and then you go out into the world and do something fun or just go somewhere and do something normal, and that shit brings you down, is the worst feeling in life. Because imagine if you accomplish something, you're out of 10, you accomplish something, you should be feeling good, you should be feeling higher. And then you go somewhere and the simplest thing brings you lower and lower and lower. Everyone has things like this to deal in your life. For a lot of you, it's not a chemical, but it's something else. There's something in your life that you need to identify. And, it's taking too much of your time, it's taking too much of your money, it's wasting. The economy is a very fucked up place. The economy is meant, the way a lot of economy is set up is it's meant for the people to serve the economy, not for the economy to serve the person. It's meant for the person to be a slave and to serve the economy, pay tax, 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 BS, 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 BS. Be sir. What is the benefit of America? Look at what goes on in America. There's a million fucking cents, dude. Like that's not normal. 4 different cents on one person, that's not normal. Like, like imagine this. Think about a hotel, right? In a hotel, a million different people. They're wearing different shampoo scents. They're wearing different fucking you know, air freshener shit, fucking whatever the fuck, right? They're wearing all this shit. Then you go in an elevator, they have some scent bullshit that's horrible to breathe in, and you're trapped in an elevator. So it's like you're processing this horrible fucking scent in this little machine trapped in it with people with a million fucking scents. Then you go into a lobby and they just clean the whole lobby. It's like, dude, I can't even live in a high rise. Like, do you guys know? Like, imagine being like sensitive or allergic to that shit, and that's how you live your life daily. And you go in and out that building 2 to 3 times a day, 4 to 6 times in total. Like, that shit is fucking crazy. I couldn't even live in a penthouse if I wanted to live in a penthouse. Like, there's certain things, even as like, there's certain wealthy things that I couldn't even experience. It's fucking like, what the fuck am I gonna like? I could start I can go to a health conscious one, right? But then I still have to deal with people in the elevator and people in the lobby. And who the fuck wants to deal with that day in life? That's why, like, I basically have to live on a house in the ground and ideally away from people. Another reason why a house near people is not ideal is because detergent. You take a walk around the neighborhood, you smell detergent. It's like, dude, I've lived in high rises. I go out on my balcony, I smell nothing but fucking detergent. Shit drive me fucking crazy. I walk on my neighborhood, detergent, detergent, detergent. I'm like, what the fuck is it? Oh, it's detergent time. This is fun. Oh, now I gotta be aware of this. Like, fuck, I'm trading. Oh shit, I'm hearing fucking lawnmowers and shit. That's fucking annoying. Like, literally, guys, like, when you make money, the best way to live is away from everyone. Because I'm telling you, the way people normally live, they are so fucked up. They were born into a fucked up situation. Most people, they're born into a life of fucking hell. That's just the reality of fucking America. If you look at America, most people are born into like a living fucking hell for like who they are. Like for who someone truly is, their life could look good, it could look normal, but who they really fucking are, dude, it's fucked up. If someone is like, a fucking super genius and they're just around like it's not good, it's just not, you know what I mean? That's why when people figure out who they are, their whole life starts fucking changing once they really start putting the time in. Like look at the shit, like there's shit if I wanted to do that I shouldn't be doing. That's just normal regular shit, but it just wastes time, wastes money. It's not like it doesn't raise my, it's just not fucking like, it's not the move. Like just wasting time and fucking around, like it's just not the move. Like I can't even do certain shit in certain way, like in certain environments. I can't be in certain people. I can't be around. Like shit's just fucking crazy. Like, but ever since this has happened to me, I've leveled up like fucking crazy. So that's why I like to say how like it's not all bad. There's good that comes with certain things that could be perceived as bad or like annoying or negative. Like ever since this shit has happened to me, I've leveled up like crazy. And it's like I'm being guided to just living how I'm supposed to live. That's another thing. Like, people have goals and people want to do things, but they're not meant to do those things. That's another thing, dude. Like, that's why, like, figuring out who you are and staying true to yourself is like the most important thing. It really is. Because, like, people could have goals and they can want to live certain ways in life because they see someone else living it and they get inspired by that or whatever the fuck. But, like, people need to understand, just because you see that and you want that doesn't mean that's your path or that's like who you're gonna be. Someone could try as hard as they want to become something that they want, but if it's not fucking them, they have to live with that. It's like, why are you spending your time becoming something that's not you? You can want this and you can try to become that, but if people just focused on becoming themselves, they would be led to truth. They'd be on their path, on their mission. Like that, one of the best feelings in life is to be on your mission. So my mission has been be private, be selective, create my own world, create my own environments. It's like I have to create every fucking thing now, dude. Fuck. It's like I can't even go to a hotel. Fuck, I have to create my own hotel. And if I created my own hotel, if I created my own if I created my own places to live, there would be no chemicals. I wouldn't have chemicals. I wouldn't have fucking Febreze. I wouldn't be like, man, my shit would be very selective. If I'm around people, very selective, dude. That's another thing. It's like if I want to be with someone now, if they smell a certain way that drives me fucking crazy, no matter how good they fucking are, I can't even fucking be with them. That's another fucking thing. It's like, dude, my life is getting very interesting, man. You know, this shit is like insane. Like I can't even like spend time around certain people. But like I said, I look back throughout my life and like the highest ROI has just been going all in on myself. Most people who've helped me out, it's just been like a temporary thing. It's like I usually just outgrow them or like they betray me or it's just not meant to be or like it's over with. Like it served its purpose and now like it's done. It was like a catalyst. But I just think like the best thing is just to go all in on me, all in on the stock market and level up. But guys, the main point I just can't stress this enough. Like if you're operating at your highest potential, what else to apply yourself than the stock market? It's like this is a war with you and your money. Like the fuck? Like what is someone else gonna do? Like get a job and just stand out in front of everyone else and look like they're 50 people in one but get paid like they're one? Like seriously, like I used to do just some normal shit and waste time and just go to a bunch of restaurants, live a normal, fun little life, and people are wondering what the fuck is this guy doing there? Like they feel something around me, they see something in me. They're like, dude, why the fuck is this guy here? What the fuck is he doing here? This guy looks like a, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? Like, if someone is that high level, people start to question, why are they here? What do they want? Why the fuck are they here in the first place? And it's like now I can't even go to a lot of those places or be around those people. So that has lost access. So like part of life is just letting things go, letting whatever needs to be lost access, let it lose access. Um, I could sit here and complain about the things I'm experiencing, or I can say, you know what, this is leading me to how I want to live. Maybe there's things that I want to do, but certain things I just can't. It's just not gonna have a positive effect on me, even if I want to do it. So it's just not for me right now. It was for the past. It served me. I had I learned, I had a good time, but now I'm on some new shit, new chapter, new version, new things. That's life. Like at some point, people can be a frequency and have fun with it, but at some point it gets to a point where like, what are you gonna apply this to? What are you gonna do with this? That's the thing, man. If someone's super smart, what is someone gonna do with their brains? Are they gonna waste that away and do stupid things with their fucking life? Or are they gonna make the right decisions and figure out who the fuck they are and what are they going to apply themselves to? What's going to give them a high ROI? What's going to fulfill their life? That comes a lot of it comes to like who you are, staying true to who you are. So like, dude, I'm looking around every fucking thing in my life. I could sit here and figure out how to get famous and grow my social media, but dude, everything is just trading. Every fucking thing is just trading. It's just trading, 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 trading. Trade, create wealth, create an intentional private life, start businesses when trading's done. Like everything is just becoming trading, business, selective, you know, very selective who I spend time with, where I go. Basically, it's just like staying home the vast majority at a time and then intentionally going out, just taking a walk or just, just a simple thing. Could be playing a sport, working out, just simple things, but like very intentional, not much spontaneous shit, not just randomly going to places. Now, dude, I can't randomly travel to where I want. I have to know where I'm staying. And I also have to know if that place doesn't work out, what's the backup plan? Am I instantly leaving and just fucking out of that place? Or am I gonna stay at another place? And what's the other place gonna be? Like, dude, it got so bad at one point, I had to go to 4 hotels in one day. And I had to cancel 4 hotels in a single day. Like, can you fucking imagine experience that? Like, it gets to a point where like the solution is wealth. That's the only solution. It's literally fucking wealth. If someone's a genius fucking trader and they have to operate at their highest fucking potential to be this person and they can't be around certain things, but they want certain things, it all comes to fucking wealth. Wealth is a big part of that. It really is. Wealth is a big part of that. Um it's like, dude, I've thrown myself in so many fucking fires. Certain fires I can no longer participate in, but that's for the best. Now it's just finding if the move is to go in more fires, finding out different fires to fucking go into. But it's like I've already become like such like an amazing person. It's like the best thing to do is the stock market. Is to just apply all the means to the stock market because there's nothing in this world that can like financially reflect me as well as the stock market and as a business that I create. Nothing more can do that, you know? If I want to create a system that financially reflects who I am, meaning if I have $1 trillion frequency, like, yeah, I don't have to do any of this. I could just fuck off and live a normal life and not make a ton of money. I could choose to do that. When you know how to trade, you could choose to do whatever the fuck you want. But like, my life has gotten to a point where I can no longer just like go out and like have fun and do normal shit. It's coming to a point where it's like, dude, you have to become wealthier, wealthier, and wealthier. You have to be more private and private and private. You have to be very selective, selective, and selective. It's coming to a point where if I chose to live a normal life, it would be so mundane and boring with the shit that I'm experiencing, where like wealth is a big part of the answer, but it's just who I am. If someone is truly wealthy, at some point they have to become the wealthiest version of themselves. And that's just where I'm being led to become with everything that I'm experiencing. So the way I'm looking at this, like basically with what I'm experiencing with like this chemical and scent shit, I'm looking at I'm looking at it as a way it's gonna make me extremely wealthy because I'm gonna lock in and I'm not gonna be doing random shit anymore. And also it's gonna let me create a more intentional life, you know? Um, and this is how most wealthy private people live. And like I see why a lot of wealthy people are nowhere to be found. And just very intentional with how they live. I don't think they're going to random stores and doing random shit. I don't think they're doing any of that. I don't think they want to be around random normal people. I think they want to be around, people they're very close with or very successful people. I don't think wealthy people want to be around a bunch of fucking strangers living normal lives of how a lot of them used to live. I don't think they want that. It's like the shit I'm fucking on. I can't even be around a lot of that shit unless it's a nightclub. I do very well at nightclubs. Um, but yeah, man, it's just life has changed a lot. And ever since this happened, my trading went to all-time highs too. So it's like this is just very interesting, man. I basically exposed myself to like a very toxic chemical lifestyle of staying in hotels for 6 months, and they all had this signature scent that didn't bother me. But as I kept staying there, it kept getting worse and worse and worse. And then it got so bad where it was getting to the point where like I was doing 3 or 4 different hotels in a single day. I couldn't stay at any of them. And they would switch my rooms multiple times, still couldn't stay there. It would bother me that much. And then it was getting to a point where I couldn't sleep. So then I would go to the club that was open 24/7 at 3 in the morning, um, just to get the energy to leave the place for fucking good. Like, dude, this like shit. it got to a point so bad where I could no longer sleep in the hotels. I couldn't force myself to sleep. So like literally I got back to my home base as fast as I could. And to get the energy, I went to a nightclub that was open 24/7 just to get fucking home. I was like, dude, I'm tired as shit. I got a fucking headache. I went to a nightclub. It was the best fucking therapy session I had, and it gave me all the fucking energy to get back home. I was like, man, what a fucking way to get the fuck out of that situation. like, guys, nightclubs are highly underrated, man. They're some of the best things to do once in a while. If you do them consistently, they're probably gonna fuck you up. Like, oh my gosh, dude. Like to consistently go to clubs, man, that fucking shit will like it just I think it just takes away too much performance of trading. Like it might throw off your frequency and you might feel like shit for like 2 days in a row. Especially like another thing is if you're not consistently doing something and it's not the best for you, it could hit you very fucking hard. That's another thing. Like, dude, if I go to a crazy club and have a fucking ball, that shit could take like 2 days to recover. And then from there, it's like if I really want to do that and have some fun, because part of life you gotta have some fun too, I have to create a recovery kit, and that's another business. Like I literally have to have like, man, I'm looking at my life, it's just all systems, like just creating systems. Like if I go to a nightclub, what's the quickest recovery system that's healthy that can just get me straight back to the top, right? So I can intentionally recover quickly, right? If I travel somewhere, you know, I need to have a pre-packed suitcase where I can just instantly leave and I don't have to think about anything and I can just get up and go, right? So like just creating like little like kits to get you to where you need to go is very useful. Like I have that with trading. I have all these ingredients of the potion, to make within trading. Once I see all the checks, all the ingredients in the trade, then I take the trade and I do what I'm supposed to be doing, man. But this has been an extremely interesting time in my life, and it's like a new chapter. I would say it's more of a chapter where I am locked in to the max. And like this shit is literally by force. Like I don't have much of a choice. There's not much where to go. There's not much to do. I don't want to just waste the gifts I have, and I can't even like do a lot of normal shit. And like it's like if I want to do some normal shit to do that, it's gonna cost a fuck ton of money. That's what my life has turned into. I used to just do normal shit and have a ball, and I didn't even have to spend a lot of money. Now it's like to do something normal, I have to be so strategic with how I plan it, and just to travel, this shit is like a whole fucking nightmare now. I have to research and figure out like where the fuck to stay. And another thing is like I've stayed in certain places, have no problems, and then all of a sudden I have a fuck ton of problems with smells and fucking scents. Something just shifts, something fucking changes. Like this shit is crazy. But even the idea of just staying in other places or Airbnbs or just hotels in general, even the idea of all that is just disgusting to me at this point. So like this whole traveling shit really does suck. Like who knows? I might have to camp at some point or get a van or just do some or just focus on villas or some shit, just outdoor villas or some shit. Like life is getting so interesting, man. Like you guys just have to understand, like I wasn't born into this, and like not a lot of people are like me. And trading is a very lonely thing. And if you look at my business, this is all on me, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like this whole trading shit, this is all on me. To grow the business, this is all on me. Like everything is all on me. And this like what my life has come to, this is all on me. And like, when someone's on a rare path like this, they usually don't have a lot of people like to be around to get them to where they need to go, or like, to just be on that overall path. It's more of like a lone wolf type of thing. And like the interesting part about that is everything points back to trading. Even my life points back to trading. With the way how my life is being right now, trading is a lonely pursuit. That's the reality. It's a one-on-one skill set. That's what makes it the best skill set and way to make money, because it's you versus you. If you show up correct, the market is usually correct and rewards you with money. If you show up fucked up, you make fucked up decisions, and you're either red or not doing as well you should be. Like that's the thing, man. Like someone can know all the answers to a test, but if they get poor sleep, you know, or if they show up all fucked up on a low fucking vibe frequency, or if they're in the wrong environment that's disrupting them, they might fail the test. You know, the smallest things in life make all the difference. You know, like at some point in life, like money doesn't make all the difference. Like when people are figuring themselves out and leveling up, usually money isn't the thing that makes all of the difference. If someone doesn't know who the fuck they are and they have a bunch of money, it's not the most like you don't necessarily need much money to figure out who you are, but one thing that money does is it does buy you experience that can help figure that out, but it can also create a lot of bullshit in your life too if you don't use it the right way. And if someone doesn't know who they are, they're probably going to use it the wrong way too, but that could lead them to figuring out who they are. Dude, life is just so interesting on how people like figure shit out. Like it's just so different. Some people are just like born into a life and they're just like structured into it and like they become themselves. Some people, this is like a strange thing. Some people like someone tries to like create someone does something and they try to like create a version out of someone by what they did, and that person chooses to be that created version. Like what a fucking I choose to live in truth, man. Like I've had people try to do things to me. That just that's like a reflection of them. Like I've had people try to like make me out to be something or like try to make me or create me a certain way. I'm like, dude, I'm in my own truth. No matter what with the dumb shit you're doing, you're gonna lose access to me at the speed of fucking light. I'm not even gonna like spend time evaluating the shit like you're out of the fucking picture. Like the cutoff is so fucking quick. Like people don't even see the shit coming. Like it's just instantly lost of access. Like, you know, how some people handle this shit, man. But this is like, guys, I'm locked the fuck in, man. This shit is crazy, man. So I'm signing off, man. It's just the number one point I wanted to make with this video is if someone has a high frequency, they can use that on just normal shit. Or they could say, you know what? I'm going to take on the stock market and I'm going to use all my fucking brain power, all my fucking knowledge, all my fucking frequencies and become the best version of myself. And one of the reasons why I'm going to do that is to conquer the stock market. That's why. That type of person is the most dangerous person in the stock market. You find someone who's clean, healthy, strong signal, no distractions, no bullshit around, highest fucking frequency. It's like, dude, basically, in a way, with this chemical shit going on, this has now forced and led me to a higher frequency. Like, I'm not getting hit with bullshit because I'm not putting myself in bullshit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, in a way, this is like put me in a way to where now I'm operating at a higher frequency. I'm no longer going to places that bring me lower. I'm no longer around things that waste my time or waste my energy. I'm no longer doing things that are just for fun. Oh, I feel amazing. Let me just go out and do this for fun because, I know if I look around, I'll be like the highest one in the fucking room. I know everyone will be looking at me. I know everyone will fucking, feeling me from a mile away. I know people are going to be looking at me. Oh, this is fun. Fucking whatever people call it, aura farming or whatever the fuck. Like, all of a fucking sudden, these aren't even fucking options for me anymore. It's like it's time to level up to obscene levels. I'm talking about levels where like social media hasn't even seen. I'm talking about levels beyond fucking movies. Some people look at movies, they're like, oh, that's not real. There's no way to become that. There's no way to live that life. I'm talking about levels higher than that. All that shit you guys see in the movies is real. That's real. That's real. People have lived that. People have experienced that. It's not just, oh, imagination. Oh, we just created this fucking shit. Imagine a fucking movie. Like, no, this shit is all like real fucking life. Like, if you guys see these dangerous people in movies and fucking shows, these are real fucking people. People are actually like that. People are actually about that fucking life. So my life is all pointing to just become the highest version of that and to just cut out all the bullshit. And this chemical shit has basically led me in a way to cut off any bullshit. All of a sudden, I'm not around average people anymore. I can't be around all this shit. All of a sudden, I'm not going to random fucking restaurants. Now it's like cook at home or order food from home or fucking chef come to me. Like, that switched up. More time for me, more money for me, no more going out and sitting at restaurants. Like, in a way, like I get it. Some people be like, oh, well, that's kind of depressing and shit like that. But it's like, dude, I just gotta know where I'm going, move intentional, but it's like this is all benefiting me. It gets to as you guys get older, you'll start to see like going out and doing all this shit, it's not all that. Like I like as people get older and wealthier, they usually stay inside and build their house. The wealthier I get, the bigger the better the house I can build. The more properties I can acquire to travel to where I don't have to stay at a fucking hotel. All of a sudden I have multiple homes in multiple fucking places, you know? The best part about trading is you can create whatever fucking life you want to create. You have a high frequency, create a high frequency life through your high frequency trades. You know, um, you don't want to pay as much taxes. Well, take your fucking trading that you could do anywhere in the fucking world. Go to fucking Puerto Rico, save a bunch of money on taxes. Figure that out if you guys want to go that route. You don't have to do anything forever. You know, like one of the cheat codes to wealth is to compound it at the speed of light, and one of the ways to compound your wealth at the speed of light is figuring out which environment is going to help get you there at the speed of light that you work best in. For me, that's like quiet, secluded places with nature, just away from everyone and every fucking thing. Typically, and also, you know, um, you can consider a place where taxes are low. You know, Florida has no state income tax. Puerto Rico, the business tax is 4% and the capital gains tax is 0%. It's the lowest taxes in the United States. It's fucking like it's insane. There's no other state in the United States that's given out. There's no other place in the United States that's giving out that has taxes that low. That's why a lot of traders do go over there. And another reason is, dude, if a trader makes 10 million in trading profits in Puerto Rico, they might pay like 500, 600K. In the States, they might pay 3.5 to 4 mil. You know, giving like giving fucking 10, $400,000 houses to the IRS out of $10 million profit and keeping six. It's like, dude, who the fuck wants to get punished for becoming wealthier and successful? But that's why, it's like taxes is a very complicated like thing to think about it, man. That's another thing with taxes. Like, some people look at it as like, you know what? I'm just gonna live where I want to live, do what I want, and I don't mind paying taxes. Other people, they're more systematic. They don't really mind as much where they live. Some people just want peaceful, secluded. So they might think of like, oh, Puerto Rico, nature, beaches, rainforest. Oh, nice place to live. I don't go out that much. La di da di da. Save all this money on taxes. Stay there for 6 months out of the year and then travel, other time of the year. And they could, with all that money they saved in taxes, they can buy more properties, invest more money, fucking like, that's another thing. Business is interesting. Business is very competitive. Some people aren't super famous in business. So one way to get in business is to compound their trading account. And the way to compound something with speed is to have more money. And the way to have more money is to save on taxes. Not everyone is super fucking famous in business. Not everyone has a trillion fucking customers. Not everyone has a million fucking people on a team, shoving ads and shoving videos and clips nonstop a million fucking times. Everyone operates in different system. Like the system I'm operating in, it's a very high frequency system of like knowledge and trading. It's not like I'm gonna, make a video that's gonna get me a million fucking likes and comments. I could put myself in that. Um, but I'd have to be very strategic of how I would do that. But I just really don't give a fuck to do that. I just really just want to trade. That's like all I want to do is just like trade and make videos. Like I enjoy trading. I enjoy like, making videos, teaching people, mentoring and just talking about like, just like just helping people think and see things differently because these are the things that have changed my life and I remember who I was, 5 years ago, a decade ago and like, dude, no matter how much money I would always choose the frequency over money. It's like, dude, there's been times, like I said, where I've been rich and I didn't have that frequency. If money is what it took to get that frequency, which is not, you can get it without money. But if money is what it took to get that frequency, dude, I would pay so much fucking money to get that shit. Like, but obviously you can get it without money, or just figure out how to get out money. But like, dude, if someone's rich and they don't have that frequency, that is like the worst fucking feeling. Like to be low, to not be at a 10, to feel like shit, like low vibe, low energy, low frequency, and to be rich is like, like some people say like, oh, money is everything. But it's like, dude, if you ain't on the, if you're looking at your life when you was broke and you were at a 10 and then you're rich and you're at a 5, all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, money ain't every I got some shit to figure out. I got to figure this shit out. Is money going to get me back to that frequency, or do I got to do something different that's not correlated with money to get that shit back? Life switches up, life changes, thing to figure out. Like, you know, one of the most miserable things in the world could be to be wealthy, but to be like fucking sad, depressed, fucking like anxiety, to feel numb, to know what it's like to feel high and to never be that again, to know what it's like to be high frequency and to know what it's like to be the highest version of yourself and then to be the lowest version of yourself and have money. Like, you know, money's an interesting thing. It's definitely a tool, but it's like, dude, people, some people have money. They figured out how to get to high frequency without money. So if they have money and they're on low frequency, they might not be looking at money as the solution to get that fucking high frequency. And I'm telling you guys, without this frequency shit with the trading, it's like, dude, I would not be trading. I would not be involved in the stock market if I didn't operate how I operate, if I didn't feel how I feel, if I didn't have this level of like intelligence, awareness, mental clarity, being able to see through this. If I didn't have this shit, I would not be trading. Especially if I had it I once in my life and then I didn't have it at a period of my time in life. Like I would spend my time figuring out how to get that because that's the best foundation to get this shit. Is like, dude, you gotta this shit is crazy, man. Like that's what I'm saying. But that's just what I love about trading because if someone knows they're like different from everyone else and they're seeing things that people don't see, you know, and they think a certain way and they have a certain intelligence, if someone knows this about themselves, the stock market is a very good place to apply themselves to. It's a very mentally dominant game. But guys, the point I wanted to make is just one of the points I wanted to make is this. The stock market's the best because it's a reflection of you. If you show up good, you make good trades, right? And part of making good trades is not trading until a good trade comes. And part of showing up good is being able to recognize if it's a good trade to be made, right? You know what to do, right? It's part of showing up good and knowing what the fuck you're doing with experience. But the market reflects who you are. Like I'm saying, you can be a very high level person, go out into the real world, and you'll see most people aren't like you. They're not reflecting who you are. There's a lot of rocks who treat diamonds like shit or just don't know how to treat them because they're not a diamond and they've never been around a diamond. That's why you got to be very secure within yourself. The worst thing you can be is insecure around a fucking diamond. It's not you gotta be very insecure and sure of who you are, no matter what comes your way or no matter who you're fucking with or what you're around. You gotta be very certain and secure of who it is that you are and keep that, hold that, carry that. But like, you know, it's just there's just nothing in this world that can reflect me as well as the stock market. It's very hard to find. And even if something did, like I said, even if it were a human, humans are emotional and humans change and humans switch up. And a lot of people come along as catalysts or they're not meant to go where you're going as high as where you're going. And then shit just ends. Like the stock market, this shit ain't going anywhere. If the stock market wants to switch up and says, you know what, we're going to give you a bunch of bullshit, well, that's my choice to have the eyes and awareness of, am I going to trade this bullshit and bring myself down to that level, right? That's my fucking choice. But obviously, if I show up on a bunch of bullshit, then I might just trade the bullshit and not even think twice about it. If someone has a fucked up life, they might look at the stock market and be like, you know what? I'm going to trade in a fucked up way because my life is fucked up. Trading reflects who you are. And it's very hard in life to find something that reflects who you are. Think about a mirror. You look into a mirror, it's not a person, but what's in the mirror? Yourself. It reflects what you look like. The stock market is the same thing. Stock market's not a person, it's a mirror. It reflects who the fuck you are, how the fuck you show up. If the market's good, do you feel good? Are you ready to execute at the highest level? The market's at the highest level. Are you going to meet the market there? Right? If the market's shit and you're very high level, you should see the market shit. So do you want to lower yourself to that and accept that and trade, or do you want to wait and trade a better setup? Right? The way you make your money matters. You can make money trading bullshit, but you're going to get bullshit fucking outcomes compared to the best setups. And that's your choice if you want to participate in both at a high level, right? But at the end of the day, compounding your account with the highest risk reward ratios, I mean, that's the fucking way to go is trading fucking less rather than more, more, more. But it's like, dude, everywhere I go, it's like there's just nothing that like aligns this type of way. with this type of accuracy, with this type of mental dominance, you know? It's like that's the thing. I can go to a restaurant, people will be like, dude, what the fuck is this guy doing here? This guy's vibrant. This guy seems like he's on a very high level of some shit. Like, who the fuck is, what the fuck is this guy doing here? I go to a normal restaurant, like people know, like, oh shit, someone's here. Who the fuck is this guy? I go to the stock market, there's nothing like that. You know what I'm like? I go to the stock market, I instantly meet the market where it's at. The market meets me where I'm at, you know? I'm on very high level. If the market gives me high level trades, I take them. If the market gives me low level trades, then me being high level is saying this is low level. Do I want to trade low level? Do I want to go down to that level in a high level and trade that and get those lower level results? Right? Like, you know, I go out into the real world. It shit don't work like that, dude. Shit don't work like that. You know, think about the real world. But you drive a Lamborghini, nobody else has a Lamborghini, and you look around. What? You can go faster than everyone else. You can, get around quicker than everyone else. Look what it comes down to: being alone, people reacting to you. Um, hype. What is all that for Oh, people cheering them on. Oh, let's race. What is the ROI in all of that? You see, like that's what I'm saying. Like, think about like you go. That's a great example. You have own a very nice car and then go to a normal place and see what happens. What's the ROI with all that around you? It's so much better to be the Lamborghini and to just drive around in nature on the fucking mountains away from everyone, right? Or to be around with other people with nice fucking cars, similar to a level that you're fucking on, right? But like, why the fuck would a Lamborghini want to be around just a bunch of like, like normal cars and shit like that? The fuck are they gonna do? The Lamborghini's gonna be going so much faster than all the fucking cars. All the other cars are gonna do, they're just gonna create noise. They're gonna cheer on the Lamborghini. They're gonna point at the Lamborghini. They're gonna take pictures. They're gonna take videos. What is the ROI in any fucking that? You think the person in the Lamborghini is doing what they're doing around the Lamborghini to get that? So what's the ROI in it for them, right? But that's the thing. I show up to the stock market. The stock market meets me where I'm at. It says, "Oh, you're a badass fucking trader. All right, sit here. We'll give you a badass trade. Let's fucking see. We'll meet you right where you're at." You know? You go on a highway in a nice car, there's going to be a bunch of shitty cars around you. It's not going to meet you with where you're at. You're going to be able to instantly outdrive these cars. A lot of these cars are going to outdrive you. Dude, I've seen in Miami people build personal brands with cars. The amount of hate they got for doing that, oh my gosh, people would make fun of them. They would say it's rented. They would say, oh, you're shit, fuck you. They would hate on these people for having nice cars, consistently driving around a nice car. They would get hate for that. That's what I'm saying. It's like, dude, the ROI, look, put it this way, man. If you guys get good in the stock market, you're going to quickly see the ROI in the real world is to create your own real world. It's like, dude, the shit I'm fucking on, I'm gonna have to get to a level of wealth where I create every fucking thing. Like, at some point, I'm gonna have to create every fucking thing. I look around with businesses, none of them know what the fuck they're doing. I'm like, dude, if I had a hotel, I would make sure that like we would clean the rooms in a natural way. There's places in the world, like California is one of them. They're very health conscious with like how they clean, because they're aware that some people have negative reactions to chemicals. Some people don't want to smell chemicals. Some people don't want to be around it, right? Like, I would have a more conscious place for like smart fucking intelligent people, of like people who like shouldn't be. It's like, guys, if we don't need chemicals, why the fuck should we have these chemicals? What, for a stupid fucking scent? Like, no, fuck your scent. Fuck you, motherfucker. Like, we don't need your bullshit scents. It's not doing anything for any fucking one. Like, if you want to smell like that, why can't people just want to smell like them fucking selves? Why do they have to put something fucking on them? Like, to smell, it just doesn't. There's no ROI in smelling different. Like, there's no fucking R. It's stupid. Like, it's fucking putting toxics on. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It's not worth the ROI. Even the time, even the money to get it and the time to put it on, it's not worth it. What the fuck is the ROI in smelling like something? You can just smell like your fucking self. What's the ROI in being something that you're not? You can just be your fucking self. Like, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, people need to wake the fuck up. America is designed to just, dude, the way this fucking America is designed up, it's designed to like show someone who they are in like a very fucked up way, you know? that's usually how it's designed. It's like designed. People have to go through hell. They have to go through fucking fires to figure shit out, and then they level up and they realize the answer is to get away from all this shit. Like, oh, okay, well that was the process to go through all that shit to figure some shit out. Wow, that's fucking interesting. Like I can see how like some parents want to like shelter their kids or like live more private lives or like be born around just like certain people and not hang out around random people. I could see it because a lot of fucking people, if you just meet random people, it's like, dude, a lot of fucking people, they're very disappointing. And like they're shitty fucking people and they don't know how to treat a fucking diamond. That's what I'm saying, dude. Like you can be in a room with a fucking rock and you're a fucking diamond and you'll have the rock thinking they're a fucking diamond. Oh my gosh, this has happened times in my life where like I poured so much into other people. I put my whole fucking cup into other fucking people and these people thought it was all fucking them, and then they would do dumb shit to fucking me, and then they would lose access to me, right? Because I'm not gonna fucking accept that, and I don't seek revenge. At some point, it's just lost access. Like if they can't fucking act right around, like if they don't know how to act around me, if they're gonna use the shit that I'm pouring into them for fucking bad against me, and they're thinking they're all hot fucking shit, dude, I will cut that fucking supply off like that, and they'll be left to realize it was all fucking me. I've had so many fucking people in my life do some fucking shit like that, man. They hang around with me, they start becoming something fucking, you know what I mean? They start acting all fucking different, and they start thinking they're all hot fucking shit, and then they forget about fucking me and treat me like shit. I'm like, dude, one of the things I've seen in life is it's like, man, it's like if you're a fucking diamond, you got to be so fucking selective of who you're with. And this is why I think like parents like shelter and shit like that because they're just aware of like how people are and they don't want their kids to go through these fires and to go through a lot of the bullshit that they went to. But like at the end of the day, like going through this shit is like it was part of the process, you know, but there could be other processes, but that's just the way of how I happen to do it. I've just been through some crazy fucking like some shit that people have not want to have gone through to like get to where I am and like need to go and shit like that. But like this shit was not fucking easy, man. It's just the way I perceive things and how my mind works, that has been like the biggest help. It's just like intelligence, the way I think, and just how I see things, and just like not being emotionally attached to people, just understanding things, just being detached and like just getting it. It's like, dude, when people become who they are, they don't give a fuck about like losing people or like fucking hanging around. I'm like, dude, fall in love with someone and then like lose them and like see how much you care about like the next fucking like it's like, man, once someone really loses something and they see what it took to like get there and how it was lost and all this shit, it's like, you know, it's like once you already lost something like that, it's like this shit is just like it's just more of like a normal thing. Like that's just how it is. It's like, dude, you think, oh, this is all hot shit and this is amazing. It's like I look at the shit that has been removed from my life or the shit that has lost access to me or whatever the fuck, like it's like nothing just phases me anymore. Like I just don't give a fuck. It's like, dude, this whole love shit, I don't give a fuck. I don't really don't give a fuck about this. Like, look, guys, life is amazing. The best thing about the stock market is to apply yourself to it because it meets you to where you're at. You can apply yourself to other things in life, but you'll quickly see that it's not going to meet you where you're at. It's not going to give you what you deserve. It's not going to give you the ROI. You know, that's the thing. You can be a very high level person and get in a relationship, and you'll start to see if you look at the relationship, what you can do compared to what the other person can do is like, you know, it's just, it shows, it stands out. Like, there's a difference between a diamond and a rock. What I find interesting though is if you can like if you're a diamond and you can find a rock and like get that to be the diamond version of that shit, that's fucking great. But in my experience, oh my gosh, it's just so many of the fucking rocks were rocks. And like, oh man, the fucking like but I figured out ways to level from those experiences. So it is what it is, man. But it would be nice, like, you know, like some people meet a rock and it ends up being a diamond because it takes time for people to level up and figure out who they are. Um, some people meet the diamond when it's no longer a rock. Like life is just so interesting. You never know what the fuck you're gonna get. It really is interesting. So I'm I'm gonna leave it off with that, guys. But look, apply yourself to the market. Go on the market because I'm telling you guys, out of everything I've experienced, especially financially, there's nothing better than the stock market. You don't need anyone. You can do it all on your own. You can make your money this way. You don't need other ways to make money. Obviously, as you make more money, you're going to want other ways because you're going to be like, dude, this makes sense to put my money here, do this, do that. But the stock market is the number one foundation to apply yourself. You know, you can apply yourself to a business, but at the end of the day, you know, business is different. You know, I could have a business on social media, but doesn't mean I'm gonna be famous. Doesn't mean I'm gonna get a shit ton of sales. But you can go into the stock market with a small account and you could flip that into millions. You can go into the stock market with a large account, you could flip that into millions. Just with who you are. That's why the stock market shit is the best because it rewards who you are. I can go into a business, I could be the best person in business. If nobody knows who I am, that means that I'm not going to get a fuck ton of customers. That's what that means. Therefore, recurring business, figure out how to get people to stay, help solve the problem. Therefore, a tax free state can help solve the problems too, but it doesn't solve the problem of like getting a fuck ton of people in, right? But obviously, there's solutions to that where you don't need a fuck ton of people to join. But you get what I'm saying, man. You can be the best in the room. You guys could be the best athlete in the world. You could be the best actor in the world. That doesn't guarantee fame. That doesn't guarantee money. You see, that's that's the thing about the whole real world. You know, I think part of the real world is like becoming who you are. That's like part of what the real world is like for. It's like you figure out who you are, you become who you are. But once you like kind of figure out that shit, people start to realize they don't need the shit anymore. They detach from it. You know, they move somewhere away from everyone and everything. They build a house and they extend their house. They keep on ranking up their house, adding things. Could be a garden, could be a farm, could be a fucking ranch. They keep on adding animals. They keep on adding things, building up more wealth, more worth, more fun all in their house. Like, dude, like look at that movie like Richie Rich, like how that dude was living in like his mansion and shit. Like that's what wealthy people do. Wealthy people, they create a life where everything comes to them and they don't go anywhere. That's what they do. They don't go any fucking where. And I see why. Because if you go somewhere, it's you don't even have to be a celebrity anymore. Even just health reasons. You have to be so fucking intentional, so fucking sharp just to do the simplest things, dude. If I go into a fucking bathroom and some shit is in there with chemicals, I have to get the fuck out. Like that's not fucking, you know what I mean? Imagine moving around like that. Just with that. Or like walking by some random people, shit fucking smells, or just dealing with things, you know? People just like walk like just reacting. It's different when you see and feel every fucking thing and people know, like, dude, this person's on a different fucking level. Some people approach you, some people react to you, some people look at you. Like, not everyone wants all this shit, but it's just who I am and what comes with it. It is what it fucking is. Like, um, but man, it's just like the best part about the market is you have a skill, you have money, you show up, you conquer it. With a business, it doesn't work like that. I could put my money into ads. That doesn't mean the ads are going to convert. I can lose money, you know? With a stock, I could put my money into stocks and I'll know exactly what the fuck it's going to do and I'll make my fucking money, risk to reward. Ads a different story. I'm not an expert in ads. That means as a business owner, if I want to go that route, I have to hire someone and I don't want to go that route of having ads. I want to do it organically, right? But like this is why the stock market is the best thing because if someone levels up in their personal life and has the highest frequency, it's like, dude, like I said, you could be the best actor in the world, you could be the best athlete in the world, you could be the best at whatever the fuck you're doing. But if you're not in that system to acquire that wealth, you know, like if you're the best basketball player in the world, but you're not getting an NBA player's salary, you know, then at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, you're the best, but you're not getting paid for being the best. You're not getting the pay that you fucking deserve. You see, that's what sucks about the real world. You know, you could be the best in the room, doesn't mean you're going to get the number one spot, doesn't mean you're going to get the number one salary. You might be unnoticed for who knows how fucking long. You might like, you see, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, think about how many people in the world are like who should be in the NBA, who should be a football player, or like who should be in movies, or people who were in movies who should have gotten that award, right? The real world, it's not a fair place. And if you look at what's going on, it's a fucked up world. It's not a fair world. It's a fucked up world. And like the people to get to the top of the shit you're looking at, the bullshit they have to go through, that typically has nothing to do with their skill set. That right there is a reason in itself to not participate in a system. There's people who have talents and skills, but to get to the top, they have to do things that no person with that skill or talent should have even done in the first place, you know? And then there's connections, there's knowing people. It's like, dude, there's so much bullshit in climbing a ladder in the real world. There really is. No matter how talented you are, no matter how skillful you are, there's so much bullshit in the system that someone has to place themselves to get to where they want to be, or like the people that they have to meet, or the things that they want to go through. People don't want to deal with people, and people don't want to deal with things to get to where they want to go. Some people just want to show up and be the best and get fucking paid. I'm like, dude, welcome to the stock market. That's what I'm saying. With this, there's no fucking bullshit. All this is a game of money. You come in here with money, you make money. It's as simple as that, man. Like, the beauty of the stock market is this isn't of like, you're the best. Now you have to get connections. Now you have to network. Now you have to figure out the steps to like get paid well, which has nothing to do with your skill set. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, you could be the best basketball player in the world, but to get into the NBA, or like to get that highest salary or whatever the fuck, you have to like do things or like go through a system typically with a lot of things in life that have nothing to do with what you're best at. You see, like, that's like one of the reasons, like, why my channel isn't like super famous. Like, you could be the best trader in the world, but like, there's certain things that someone has to do on social media to grow the social media. You know, like if I sat here and analyzed trends and I want to capture some trends and play the trend game, oh, let's make trending videos or let's make lifestyle videos, right? If I wanted to do something that has nothing to do with my skill set of trading, I could try to do that and get more views, get more sales, get more clients as a business owner, right? I could try to do that. But it takes me away from what I'm good at. So why the fuck do it? Just to grow something else that I don't need to grow? I already have the stock market. You see, this is what I'm saying. The stock market is unlimited fucking scale. The stock market is one of the only few things in the world where you come in with your skill set and it requires nothing from, you know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. There's a lot of people who are famous at the top. Well, guess what? For them to get famous, it takes fucking agents. It takes people taking their money. We're gonna take 20% here. We're gonna take 10% here. All right, we'll put you on here. We're gonna take 50% here. Like, think about like people in the NBA and shit. All the fees they're getting taken from their agents and all this shit. People on YouTube, all the brand deals, all the fees they're getting taken from. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, to get to the top in a lot of places in the world, it requires people, and all these people are draining you. All these people are taking you away from what you're good at. All these people are taking all of your fucking money, right? It's like a lot of things in the world, people think they're making more money, but typically a lot more money is getting taken from them, and they're making way less money than they deserve. And that's why a lot of people, consider relocating to their states, if it relocating to a different state, if it makes sense. Like, that's the thing about trading. With trading, you could trade from anywhere in the world. That's why someone would question if they want to compound and get speed. Maybe they should consider uh, um to grow their account in life in Puerto Rico for like 6 months of the year, because the tax savings over there are extremely advantageous, right? So like, the reason why trading is just the best skill set is because, guys, it's hard to find anything else in the world where you don't have to go through bullshit to get to the top. Like, there's not a lot of bullshit that you have to go through to get to the top with trading. Obviously, at some point when you're making like a fuck ton of money, the SEC is going to be like, wanting more, to see more from you and getting more on your ass. And that's fucking like hell and bullshit and shit like that. But like, it's like, dude, if you look at a lot of people who got like rich and famous or got discovered, a lot of these people went through a system, and it's a horrible system to get discovered. And just because they went through that system and got discovered and they're famous and rich doesn't mean that they're the best at that. Some people didn't go through the system at the fucked up top and they're actually the best, but they're undiscovered. The real world is such a fucked up place to live in. The stock market is a device to live how you want to live. You know, if you could trade from anywhere and you want to pay less on tax, well, you can take your stock market business and you can go wherever the fuck you want to do. Different if you're pursuing a different career that's tied to a location where you have to be there, you know? So life is interesting, man. The stock market is the ultimate tool for freedom. There's nothing like it. You don't have to deal with people. You don't have to go through bullshit systems. Um, you just make your money and live your life. And nobody knows how much money you're making. Nobody, it's all private. It's all on you. The stock market's a reflection of you, you know? If you don't want to show people what you spend your money on, you don't have to show them. If you don't want to show people how much money you make, you don't have to show them. It's like, dude, look, this is you see, like, if this is how I make my money, I could show people as little as I want to. I get that people don't even know. People don't even have to know how I make my money. There's people in real life, they don't even know that I like trade. They have no fucking idea. You know, like I just be like, oh, I have options. And like, well, what's that mean? It's like I have options. I could just do whatever I want. Like that's options give you options. It's like, dude, it's like I could just trade my whole life. Right now, I could trade my location to another location and save money on taxes. If I save money on taxes, I have a bigger account and I can compound the account quicker. It's just a thought. It doesn't mean something I have to do. Obviously, life's more advanced than that. It's not as optimized as that, right? Um, it's important to enjoy where you live and not just optimize your life around money. But if someone just wanted to live and lock themselves in a room and just live a normal life, then yeah, that can make a lot of sense if they don't have a reason to be somewhere else. But plus, it's only 6 months out of the year. Like, it's just interesting, guys. Like, trading is just a very interesting thing because the interesting about trading is it's one of the only tools that allows you to create the top. Most ways to get to the top is to go through the top through like your skill set and connections and networks and other people's systems. And all those people, typically, a lot of them don't benefit you and a lot of them drain you and take a fuck ton of money from you. Like to go through that shit where people can get you to where you need to go quickly. Like, and it requires dealing with people. The stock market's like, dude, you don't have to deal with people. You read this shit like human nature. You take everyone's motherfucking money. You don't even see these people. That's the best part about the market. There's no other place on the fucking planet. There's no other thing like this on the fucking planet. And you can just make money as a mystery, not be seen. Um, like this shit is insane. There's nothing like it. There's no better skill set. Like this shit is like to give you perspective, you can have a business in trading, but if it doesn't get discovered, if it doesn't blow up, then yeah, you can make money, but you're not getting paid how your skill set deserves to be paid. But, that's a business, right? That's social media. It's a fucked up, rigged, imaginary fake land, right? It's a bullshit system. It's like, oh, know certain people. Oh, be in certain systems. Oh, capture trends. Oh, make certain videos. Oh, well, if you do this with your channel and you make these type of videos, you can get more views and you can get more sales. But it's like, yeah, but then I would have to do that. What if that's not my truth? What if that's not myself? What if I don't want to do that? What if I don't have to do that? Exactly. Like if I already trade, I don't have to do like any of that. But we enjoy our business and we're passionate about it, so we do that. But in terms of marketing, it's like we don't have to market the shit. It's a recurrent and snowballs itself. But you get the point that I'm making, right? I I can have you know just put it this way, I can have a business on trading. If people don't join, I could be the best in the business and undiscovered and not get the pay that I deserve, right? And then if I want to get the pay that I deserve, I have to might do some bullshit. I have to might try to capture trends, or I have to might, make certain videos that I don't want to fucking make that leads to views and sales, right? Or like I can try to upgrade my lifestyle and flex a lifestyle and get people in that way, right? There's different systems, right? And some people are just so true to themselves that they will never operate in a system that's not for them, even if it leads to more money, right? But you get the point that I'm making at. In business, you can be the best in business, but that doesn't mean you're gonna get paid what you're deserved. You could be the best in the fucking business, and you could be the fucking lowest income in the whole tier. There could be a guy at the top who understands marketing, and he's a shit trader, and then there could be a guy all the way at the bottom getting paid shit who's the best trader in the world. That's life. That's business. Welcome to the real world. Welcome to business. However, with trading, right? Coming in here with an account, obviously, the more money you have, the easier it is to make money, right? But if you don't have any experience, then the easier it is to lose money, right? You gotta understand that. But like with trading, you show up, you get results. There is no bullshit, you know? With trading, it's a setup. I wait for the setup, I trade the setup. Social media, it's completely different. Oh, if I want more views, I can try to capture this trend, or I could try to make this video, or I can try to flex this lifestyle, or I could try to be something that I'm not to get people to join something to make more money. I've never been the type of person to like try to make money that's not in alignment with who I am. Like I'm not the guy to sit here and say like, you know what? I see a way to make money, but you know, uh, the type of person where like I see an opportunity or I see a way to make money, but if that's not if that's not in alignment with who I am, then I don't want to do it. I don't care if it can make me more money, you know? Especially within the situation that I'm in. Like I'm in a situation I could just live my truth. Um, I've got the stock market. I don't have to do anything I don't want to do because I could just make a trade. I could just make one trade. I could run up thousands. I could run up five figures. It's just one trade in minutes. Like I don't have to do these a lot of the I don't have to do certain things. Obviously, if I did certain things, it would lead to more success, but I just try to keep my success in terms of in what's alignment to me. You know, obviously I can have certain things, but then certain things take away time and energy from me and they take away money from me too. It's not all gains, you know. There's people in sports, yeah, they make a lot of money, but look at how much money gets taken from them, you know. There's people who win the lottery, yeah, they made a lot of money, but look at how much money got taken from them. That's another thing. Is it really that big of a win if all that money was taken from them? It seems like the winning side of the equation is the one who's getting all that fucking the one who's taking all that motherfucking money are the real people who seem to be fucking winning, you know, like the fucking IRS. Um, but there's ways around that, you know. There's literally, I mean, Puerto Rico is one option. Like, there's so many ways around that. It's just crazy. Like the amount of wealthy people who've moved to Puerto Rico in the past like 3 or 4 years has been insane. I've never seen so many people move to Puerto Rico, man. This shit is insane. But trading is just so interesting because it's like you can trade places with whatever life you want to trade with, you know? You want to make more money, get better at trading, get better at yourself, right? Lock in on yourself, right? Or start another business. You have trading, go ahead, start another business, or invest into another thing, right? Trading allows you to do that, right? Um, it's just very interesting, man. At this point in my life, trading has become the most interesting thing. That's another thing. It's like, you want to trade locations? Well, this location gives you your dream life. You're gonna have to pay more in taxes if that so has to be the case. Like think about locations. Like, say I want to grow my social media. What if I wanted to use a location to grow my social media? Some people go to like Los Angeles, New York City, Miami. They use a location to become famous, right? Some people go that route. They could use trading as a tool to then get to that location to then create more wealth and abundance for themselves, right? Or say someone wants to go the other route. Say someone, they don't want to live in a city. They don't want to use a place for fame. Instead, they want to go to Puerto Rico to save money on taxes. Well, trading allows them to trade their location. You see what I'm saying? Trading allows you to make a trade with whatever you want to do. Everything stems from trading. The foundation is trading. Whatever you want to do within your life, if you think about it, it's all up to you. It's you versus you, and trading helps you get there. If you want to relocate, you want to live in a major city, well, trading gives you the money to live in that major city. You want to save money on taxes and you want to be secluded, or you want to save money on taxes and you don't care about like, all these other places to live. You just want to lock in, focus on you, be around nature and stuff. Puerto Rico is an option. You could save a lot of money um on taxes, right? The interesting thing about trading is it's like the ultimate jailbreak to life where you get to live life on your own terms and genuinely choose what life you want to do. And what makes it interesting is trading is the type of income and lifestyle where you can genuinely change your life overnight and live how you want to live. You can go from, okay, I want to experience living in a city and see who I am there and see if I want to build something there and live that cool lifestyle. Some people go to a city, they live it up, they spend a ton of money, they live a crazy lifestyle, right? And then time goes on, they're like, all right, this is great. I've had enough. I want to live differently. Then they go into secluded mode, you know? They go away from everyone, they go into nature, they live secluded, right? life is very chapter, life is very seasonal. Um, People have a lot of time in the world to live multiple lives, to live many versions of themselves, right? To experience so much in life rather than just to live one normal life. But the beauty of trading is it allows the person to get to whatever life they want to be able to live it. If someone wants to have fun, live in a major city, live it up, high rise or whatever the fuck, they can go do that. If someone wants to save money in taxes or live in another country, they can go do that. People can just pick up and go wherever they want to go. And trading is another skill set that also is something where it's more mobile and pick up and go. Anyone knows in terms of trading, you don't need to own anything to be a trader. All you need is a phone or a laptop, and a brokerage account. So one of the benefits about trading is, wherever you live, you don't have to own a lot of things. You can keep it as simple as, all right, table, bet. You can keep things very simple, especially if you're not making a bunch of money or if you just want to live simple. It's just the best part about trading is this: it allows you to create whatever life you want to create for yourself, right? If you want to live like a minimalist, you can live like a minimalist and travel here and there, multiple places, whatever the fuck. If you want to build a crazy mansion and just keep on building, building, building more wealth into your house, putting more money into your house increases over time, etc., creating a better life for yourself, right? You can do that, right? Trading is a skill of excellence. That's what I love about it. It's a direct reflection of someone's excellence, right? You can go into many rooms, you can meet many people, you can try many things in life, and you're going to quickly find out in the real world, no matter how good you are, nothing's going to meet you at your excellence. They're not going to meet you where you're at. They're not going to know how to react to. A lot of people are going to treat you like shit. A lot of people are going to treat you how you don't want to be treated. And a lot of environments are not suited for you. There's reasons why super fucking genius people aren't hanging out in these normal ass fucking rooms because they realize this environment is not for me. This environment is bringing me lower, or this environment is not going to meet me where I'm at, or there's nothing to gain from this environment. But with trading, there's everything to gain because money can help create the life that you want to create or create stability to live it. And trading is the tool to create the money. And it's the best way to make money, you know? Like think about like in this situation, right? I have a trading business. Well, to get people to join the business, I have to put myself out there. That exposes me. That puts me at risk. That puts me at risk of, oh, people trying to target me, people trying to network with me, people trying to reach me, people trying to network with me, people trying to message with me, people trying to gain something from fucking me, people trying to take something from fucking me, right? People trying to be my friend or people trying to do this, whatever the fuck. The market asks nothing of me. The stock market says, whoever the fuck you are, I'll give it back to you. If you show up like a piece of shit, I'm gonna make you red. If you show up fucking amazing and you trade the best setups at the best prices, I'm gonna give you green the vast majority of the time, right? With a business, it's a completely different story. People switch up, people change, people react, people are emotional. Um, you never know what the fuck you're gonna, at least with the market, you have a sense of what you're gonna get. You have a setup, it's a predictable setup, you have a risk. With people, you've no fucking idea what you're gonna get. Anything can happen with people. And then people know people too. And then that is the thing about people is you never know what the fuck's gonna happen. You never know what the fuck you're gonna get, right? People's a completely different story. Literally, one could say that SPY is more predictable than people will ever be. That there's a lot of truth to that. I really think SPY is predictable than people could ever be because you can genuinely know someone, they could switch up like that, or they could change like that, or something can happen to that person, and then boom, that fucking shifts, that fucking changes. Like, look at the shit that just happened to me. I'm experiencing things with chemicals now. I don't even want to be around people with certain chemicals. I can't go to certain places. You know, all those motherfuckers who knew me in my past. It's like now they're never gonna like see me fucking get in that situation. Like I've changed so much, right? And like shit, like that was completely like out of my fucking control. That's life. With Spy, this is more controllable. Life, people, oh, good luck. Good luck trying to control people. Good luck trying to manipulate people. It's like, dude, life is real. Life is truthful. Like, what happens fucking happens. And the shit don't make sense all the fucking time. You never know what the fuck you're gonna get, what the fuck's gonna happen, but shit fucking happens. Like, that's the thing, man. Like, Spy is highly fucking predictable. With people, people can't be controlled. They can't be manipulated. Like you never know what the fuck's gonna happen. That's what I'm saying, dude. The shit I've seen, most people, they're just a disappointment. Like most people are really just a disappointment. They're not living up to their potential. They're not living up to the highest selves. Most people get trapped into a normal life and they never rise out of it. And the only change they make is just a lower fucking life or just a more like, people aren't willing to do what it takes. It takes so much sacrifice, so much, dude. The amount of times I feel like I've died and come back to life as a different version, the amount of layers I fucking shedded, the amount of like versions I fucking like have been through, the amount of times where I feel like I've died and come back like from the fucking dead, and like people literally see this in me. It's like it's it's fucking like there's just so much to go through. I literally sometimes I look and like see what it would take like to become famous and all this stuff. And I look at that and I'd be like, it seems like absolutely fucking hell. Especially with all the shit that I've already done and been through. Like just for someone to become famous nowadays, like if you guys look at some of the famous people at the top, all of the bullshit that these people are doing to themselves, to other people, like some of the people you hear about, it's like, dude, these people are doing the most craziest shit on social media. Like, this is not normal. This is not healthy. Like, this is a fucked up way to be. But it's like, just to get like attention or clicks nowadays is fucking like, that's what it takes, dude. It's like the competition is so fucking high in the real world, in like this fucked up whole real fucking world. But who the fuck wants to be there? Like the point of life is to create your own life and to get the fuck out of that place. We were all born into it. Some people were sheltered from it. Some people were thrown right into that pit of fucking fire hell. And now I see why some parents want to shelter their kids. Because, dude, I think some parents were like thrown into that hell and they don't want their kids to go through that. Or they've seen people go through that and they don't want that for their kids. Especially I could see like for wealthy people. Now like I see of like how wealthy people like want typically wealthy people like they're more just kind of like shelter their kids like private school. They're very selective on where their kids go or like who they hang out with. I could see why, because dude, when someone's like a very special type of like smart person, and especially if they're born into that too, it's like, oh my gosh, dude, I'm telling you, being smart in the real world, dude, this shit has led, in my experience, to so much targeting, so much stalking, so much rating. And guys, like, I'm not even fucking famous. This is just like for what has come with like who I am and what I've put out. Like that's the thing. It's like someone doesn't have to be famous. Like if someone's a very dangerous fucking person and they put themselves out there, it's like, dude, the shit I've experienced, like I've experienced fucking like raids. I've experienced like, people throwing stalking like fucking behavior at me. I've experienced like fucking being fucking targeted. I've experienced being fucking betrayed, being fucking backstabbed. Um, I've experienced people trying to set me up, people trying to plot me, people trying to fucking humiliate me, fucking rituals, fucking embarrass me. Dude, I've experienced so much fucking shit. And like I'm not even fucking famous. So many famous people have gone through a different living type of hell and also shit like that too. I'm like, for what? Fame is just a number. Right now, I'm looking at numbers on a screen, motherfucker. That's what I'm saying, guys. The stock market is the ultimate fucking cheat code. Like, you don't have to be as like fucking like man, the shit like literally me just putting myself out there with the shit I've got, like, oh my gosh, like it's just fucking like insane. Like now I get of like why people move a certain way and why parents like shelter their fucking kids. Cause like, dude, the amount of fucking fires that I've walked fucking through, like, this shit is insane. Like, it just gets to a point where people just like, dude, even if I wanted to do something, it's like I can't even do certain things with just who I've become. Even if I wanted to do it, like, there's certain things that I just can't do. And if I did them, I would quickly be thrown out of it. Like it would just be a quick temporary thing, boom, thrown out of it. Like there's just certain things I can't even do anymore, but it's all for the best. That's what part of leveling up. Part of leveling up in life is losing access to things you used to do or people you used to be around. That's just life. If someone becomes a certain person at some point in time, if that person doesn't cut it off or spend less time doing that, at some point in time, something's gonna happen in their life and they're gonna have like no choice. Like, that's like literally it's fucking insane, man. Like life is just so like interesting. But if you look at the stock market, like man, I look at what it takes now, like what it takes for someone to be successful in the business, if they're trying to have a business on social media, I look at that and see all the crazy shit that people are doing, all the shit that I've fucking been through, not even being fucking famous. Like, yeah, I'm known in my niche, but like just just if someone is like if someone's that guy and they're not well known, all it takes is just the wrong people to come into someone's life or just targeting, rating, bullshitting, fucking hate, like, to just start to like, you know what I mean? Like all it takes is just like to start to like disrupt that person, or now that person's going through some shit and like, like in they're just trying to be a good person. Like, all it takes is just like one person or just a small group of people like to fuck with people. Like it's just a horrible thing to go through. So like imagine fame. Like, oh my gosh, fame at a larger scale of just like all of that shit. Like it sounds like fucking obscene. It sounds like a fucking like army. It sounds like a fucking war, you know? Like it sounds fucking obscene. Like, man, it's just life is fucking crazy, man. Like this shit is absolutely fucking insane. Like I could see why people don't put themselves out there if they're fucking brilliant, because I'm telling you, dude, people who are brilliant, most people don't know how to treat them like how they should be treated. Most people don't get it. They don't give a fuck. It's like, man, and like most people get to know a brilliant person and then they just try to backfire at them and try to do some stupid shit or whatever the fuck by knowing shit about them. Like that's what I'm saying, man. Like to be different in the real world, in my experience, it's just a lot of people, especially in America, it's these fucking Americans, like all they try to do, like if someone's the dangerous person in the room, a lot of the times they don't like seek knowledge from that person, or like they just like jealous or like envious or want to take something from that person, or like destroy them or like one up them or like fucking betray them or fucking like a lot of the times it's bad. Like being like a smart dangerous person in the room, in my experience, like a lot of the fires I've been through, it's like most people just want to do wrong, or they just don't know how to handle that person or how to treat that person. They've never been around someone like that and they're nothing like that person. They don't know what to do. Most people have a hard time just being normal around that person. Like I said, like I've poured cups into people, I poured energy into my people. It's like, dude, a lot of the times these people don't know how to act, or a lot of the times they think it's all them and they treat me like I'm some low piece of shit. I'm like, motherfucker, you're mistaken. If you're gonna treat me that way, that's how you treat your fucking self. That's who you are. Like, fuck you. Like, if anything, all I did was good for you. Like, this shit is insane, man. But like, I get now. Like, I just, I get why, especially wealthy people or people who just know, like, oh, this person's gifted. I see like why they're intentional with. I see like why they're careful with them. Like, I get it. But like, the interesting thing with me is a part of a lot me becoming this way was not like being fucking all sheltered and fucking normal. It's like, dude, I had to go through fucking hell to become this way. But like nobody made me this way. People did things and I chose what I was going to do and I made the right decisions. Nobody like made me this way or created me this way. It's just things have happened in my life and I've made the right decisions and I've just stayed true to myself no matter what was thrown out my way. And with that being said, you know, I've lost a lot of things that I used to be around, that I used to love, and it was all for the best, you know? That's why this whole love shit, that's a different fucking story, man. There's so much shit that I've loved in my life where like it had to get removed. It had to get removed from me. It had to lose access to me. Like it just had to be like gone. Like there's so many things that like I enjoyed or I loved where, it was removed. And it is what it is. But man, when stuff like that has happened, oh my gosh, like I just don't care to lose anything anymore in terms of like love or like people. I really don't. Like I just when someone experiences something they genuinely love and it's like stripped right out of their fucking life and taken from them, it's just really, you know what I mean, to like give a fuck about losing some shit like that again. Like it's just because it's like I didn't fumble shit. That's the thing. Is like these people, these situations, and these people fumbled me. Like I didn't fumble fucking shit. I had no other choice but to lose that shit. It was literally like there was no other option for me to either lose that shit or betray myself and try to get like no, like fuck. I would never betray myself like for any fucking thing, for love, money, never. Like the moment the worst thing you can lose in this life is yourself, is yourself, is your health. Literally the worst things you can lose in this life, man. um but once people lose like a big love in their life, that's when it's just so easier. Like to detach from shit and to just not care. Cause like I think about like if I lost that, like you know what I mean? Like that was like so rare and that felt amazing. Like if that was removed from my life, then who gives a fuck? What else is like fucking removed from it? Like that was the shit I've some of the things I've experienced and like some of the people I've lost. Like I'm sitting here like looking at like how like amazing some of that was and like how magical and just all this shit of what happened. Like if I lost that, then it's like I could lose like any fucking thing. Like you know, like it's like there's just I'm part of trading in general is just to be detached, is just to be emotional, is just to be comfortable with, you know, cutting trades, cutting losses, to be completely detached from, you know, emotions and just making the right decisions. Um, but yeah, man, life is just so interesting. I'll see you guys within the chat. We're gonna finish it very strong within the green. Um, you know, in terms of the trades, guys, look, we crushed it. We do this every day. 7590 SPX puts 130 cents, sold at 420. Like, dude, that's fucking 300%. One loss on calls, that's 100%. Look, 130 cents to zero. 130 cents to 420. 50% win rate. The wins are bigger than the L's. Add to the wins, set profit stops, right? Morning trade, 756 by calls, 44 cents. Add, triplet. Shit went to fucking 101 cents, 150 fucking percent, whatever the fuck. This was yesterday. 7560 SPX puts for 80 cents. Shit went to 60 cents. You got a 600% return there. It's like, dude, nobody is operating and trading at this high of a level on the shit that we're on. 755 SPY puts for 64 cents. Um, sold at 190 cents. Like, guys, I'm telling you, nobody's doing this, dude. Nobody's doing what we're doing with the accuracy, the amount of big wins. In terms of my trades, it was just a fuck ton of wins, dude. Like that's what I'm saying. Like all we do is win, man. So like I said, man, I'm not gonna go all over like all this shit, but dude, it was just endlessly winning. All day. We always start off green, so we have any red trades, we don't flip red. Most risk is 30%, 50% of our gains. But I bought ES at 7543, and then I added at 7541, and then I sold that shit at you know 7600, man. Fucking 60-point move on that. 753 SPY call, scalped that at the exact lows, two massive wins on the day. The day before that, I had a small win on calls, some small little L's, and then some bigger wins. Like, dude, all we do is win, guys. If you want to trade alongside us, is the first link down below in the description. The wins are bigger than the L's. We have the highest win rate in the game doing this. We buy cheap, low risk, bottom zero option contracts. We're over selling deep in the money for the biggest percentage gains. So, guys, I'm gonna leave it off at that. I will see you guys within the chat. Dude, we're gonna absolutely fucking crush this shit.